Welcome back. My name's Victor and this is Vibing with Victor, and today's a little different. We're actually going to do a live tutorial. So if you have any questions, I am going to be answering them. We are going to be concentrating on the hardcore playthrough for Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. And if you give me a quick moment, I'm going to be setting it up. But I want to thank you all for hanging out with me today, because this is a little more Q&A today, and I hope that you gather something in here. And I am also going to be posting this live for people that want just questions and such. Please leave any questions that you might have about hardcore. I'm going to be giving as many tips and tricks as I have found. I've been playing for about 83 hours on hardcore so far, and I want to give you some information that might help you save some hair and that you might be pulling out of your head. So if you just give me a moment, I am setting up my tags so we can actually get found by YouTube. But I want to thank everyone who's been hanging out with me and supporting me so far. We just crossed over today our 300,000th view on the channel, and we have a little over 514 subscribers to the channel. I've been doing real estate related content on my channel before I decided to switch it to gaming, so you know, we have to take it with a bit of a grain of salt. But at the same time, I've been doing YouTube now for about 2.5 years, and I'm a little new to the streaming side, but I'm really happy that you've been able to hang out and actually experience this with me. And I just want to say thank you, because again, today I just hit my 300,000th view, and also my watch hours are really high up there. So I'm just really appreciative of everyone who's actually been hanging out with me. Shout out to my friends. I got Supercon, also Idiot Gamer and MPS. Really appreciate that. I want to give a shout out to my Magic the Gathering pod, and if there's any questions, feel free to get a hold of me. Just type it in the chat and I'll be able to do a live tutorial. But right now I'm just setting up all my tags so YouTube can find us. And again, this is going to be recorded and uploaded also to better help people when they're running into this, because this is a really hard game, especially on hardcore. And if you're playing it like that, my hat's off to you. I commend you. But all right, we just got our tags set up. I do have a tutorial pulled up in another screen here, but we are today going to be doing a live tutorial for Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. As you see, I have about 81 hours of hardcore playthrough so far, and I had about 34 hours before I went onto the hardcore. And I'm actually just going to pick one of our saves, and this is right after the fist fight in Trough, and you're prompted to talk to the lady that was right in the beginning. And again, this is a live tutorial, so please, if you have questions, leave them in the comments for me, and I'll be happy to do it. But I'm going to be starting this playthrough, talking it out, some of the tips for you today, and I just really wanted to go through this for you. So, without further ado, let's get started. All right, here we are.
I really do need to find some job. I'll find muck without you, you stuck-up lord of Perkstein.
So if you see right here,
over here,
we just left the stocks, and if you can tell, we are naked and afraid. We are having problems. We barely have anything. We do have some clothing that we can attach, but we are going to move over straight into our first conversation, and this is actually one of the most beneficial conversations in the entire game, and that's with this lady asking for our information, and this is Bara. So we're going to talk to Bara, and Bara's going to give us the quest line to talk to Tomcat. Now, Tomcat
What do you want from me?
obviously is a trainer,
From you.
but we'll just move through this.
Uh-huh.
I've been begging for arms here for days, and that's thanks to you. The scene you made.
You're welcome.
So the first thing we're going to do, I'm just actually going to move through these
Yes.
dialogues here. We're going
Doesn't
to
get much better.
prompt her to
You're still
talk
alive, like
to
Tomcat.
us about Tomcat, and it's right here.
Do you know anything more about Tomcat?
They say he's a.
Do you
So-
think Tomcat might-
No offense.
I like to actually do all of the speech checks, so it's completely up to you, but the first thing you want to do is pick up that quest line to right there get your combat training 1. So now let me show you just the basics here. Where do I get something to eat? Now she's going to tell you an idea where you start here.
At least you're not walking around bare-assed. Although
Well, we're
that
starting
might
with
be a
clothes.
sorry side.
Ah, very funny. I'd rather you tell me where I might get some clothes.
And what do you have in mind?
Okay, and we just had some people join us. We're doing a live tutorial right now on some basics of hardcore, just so you have an idea. Now, this is the first thing in here, and we're talking through it, but this is the first thing in here that you should know. You have these dialogue options that will show up. First, you have a thievery, an intimidation, and then you also have a, I believe this is a nobility. This is how much you impress someone. So we're not going to pass any of these, so we're just going to start with the I need
Use
some armor.
Proper, like, for a night. And no rusty junk.
And you are like a knight?
Well, yeah.
Wow.
That's...
Well, you can.
So
hold
that
your
is our
armor
first
out.
speech check that we passed. And again, this is a live tutorial, so please leave a comment if you have any questions, but I'm going to start working through it. She's recommending that we need to start stealing, and she gives us a lockpick. Then you have all these other options, and she'll give you a little bit of an idea of the game, but now we're going to move into the other side of the crash course. So she'll give us a little money.
And which way is that?
Southwest from. Once you see the though, I'll be a queen.
Now, she just told us in that dialogue that I just
Where'd you say I could get?
The
went
nearest
through,
farm is down the
this
hill
is
in
where
the
you
centre,
find
but
a
without
free
money,
horse.
You'll only be able to stare at those ponies.
and I'll show you
Where I
that
might
soon.
find accommodation.
Betty in the tavern.
I'm not going near that.
If you find some work.
And then
My
this
mate.
is the
Well, yeah.
how do
We're
we
talking of
progress
nothing
the
else.
mission
The
that we're
Lord's
in.
Son is
How much time?
From what I so.
And again, I'm moving through these dialogue options because we are going to be doing other things with
well.
this time.
Don't worry.
So again, here we are, the basics right now on how to do Kingdom Come on hardcore. Now, the first thing I want to point out to you, you have no HUD. You have no indicator on the bottom side that shows your health, how much stamina you have, or how hungry you are. You will start seeing hungry options here. And then I also want to point out on the top, there is no directional on your compass. The first thing and the most important thing in this is we're going to have to figure out where we are at all times. Now, when you go into the map on a hardcore playthrough, you don't know where you are. Now, we see it just opens up to a random spot, and depending on what options you hit for your hardcore playthrough, you're going to be able to do certain things. Now I'm going to go through right here and I'll start. We'll go over to mine. In the main level, you see I have selected Hangry Henry, which means that starving reduces my hunger. My starving reduces my speech, my charisma, and my intimidation. Also, the hungrier you are, the bigger the penalty. And moreover, all food will fill you 50% less, and you'll become hungrier faster, which is 25% higher. I chose heavy-footed on this playthrough, and heavy-footed, what it means is your noise level by default starts at 25 instead of 0. Now this is on a 0 to 100 range, and I'll show you where to find that in a moment. And then on top of that, your shoes wear out twice as fast. In my playthrough on the 83 hours, the first 15 hours, I was basically running around barefoot because I was beating through my shoes that fast. Picky eater. Pickiness causes all food in your inventory to spoil faster, and that's about 25% faster. Also, you're not going to get as much meat and such from animals that you kill, just so you have an idea. Now I'm going to introduce you to the player tab, and depending if you're playing on PC or if you're playing on console, I'm only going to be giving you the PC version. Now on the PC version, you're going to have your 4 main categories for your stat line. You have your strength, and this increases whenever you do something like if you're over encumbered, or you're swinging a weapon that's heavy, or you're carrying something, or you fully draw back a bow. Now then you also have your agility. This can be increased if you are playing dice, if you're dodging in combat, stealth, such like that. Then you have your vitality, which is kind of a mix of everything. I haven't quite figured out exactly how you're continually doing that, but you're going to have it through combat, performing advanced techniques and combos and other things like that. And then my personal favorite, the speech. Speech is how you this is really your core stat of the game, in my opinion, because when you're playing on hardcore, the better you are speaking, the more you're going to benefit yourself. So now we're going to go into the speech side, and on the speech side we have what's called a perk point. They are right here. There is so many people that I've seen on stream and somewhere else that don't know where the perk points are. It is right here. And again, this is a live walkthrough of what we're doing in Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 when you are just starting the game. So this, again, redundancy for a lot of people, but I want to give you an idea of what we're actually dealing with inside of the game. Now, you have a perk point. This means that you've leveled it up. Please use your perk points. There's so many people out there that think that the perk points are finite. They are not. You will be able to level up almost everything inside of this tree, just so you know. But so many people will save them and wait until they have the perfect build. There is a potion, I haven't gotten it yet, that does clear it. Don't worry about it, just use them because they really do help. The first one we have in speech is polished wares. So when you sell things that are a higher condition, you make more money. Silver tongue, adept of the skills here, adept of the mystic arts. You can buy and sell potions, herbs, recipes for better prices, and artisan. So you can buy and sell weapons and clothing at 10% better. Now I recommend starting with silver tongue because it's going to give you the speech buff of +4 to your speech. And again, in the beginning of the game, and this is what we're going to be doing for this playthrough right now, we're going to be working on the beginning to set you up on a base for Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. I've been watching a lot of other streamers and people have been asking me about this, so I wanted to take some time and actually tell you. So it'll ask you to confirm that you want it, and then you're going to buy it. Now it's going to go up here, and you can see we still have one more. So we are going to do the potion and herbs one, because that is our primary way we're going to be making money in this start. Now these are our 4 main stats, and that's under the stat bar right here. Again, you can access that by hitting J on the keyboard or your menu inside a console. I don't know all the console commands, so I will not be able to give you them all. Let me check the chat, and I don't see anything in chat. If you have any questions on this, please speak up and I'll be able to answer. Now down here you see your main stats. You have your health, your energy, and your nourishment. They are also shown right here underneath the boy himself, Henry. Now underneath Henry, you see your nourishment, that's 95 out of 100. Energy is 84 out of 100. Health is 100 out of 100. We see our stat lines right here. strength, agility, and vitality. And then we see our speech over here. We also see charisma, and this is going to move us into secondaries. Secondaries are right here, right next to the stat line and between skills. Secondaries are right here, and you have charisma, conspicuousness, sorry, I always say it wrong, visibility, noise, and speed. Now, your speed is self-explanatory. It maxes out at 30. And then noise, it starts on this playthrough at a 25% because this is what I have a debuff set at, but it goes from 0 to 100. And then also visibility is how you can be seen, and this is how distinct you are when you're being seen. And again, charisma is also, this impacts your speech and also the prices that you have. Now we're going to move on to the dialogues, and the dialogue stats are right here. We have persuasion, coercion, impression, domination, presence, and intimidation. And again, I haven't scripted any of this, so I'm just moving through this. So if you have questions, please ask me. And then on skills, and those were for speech checks before we move on to skills. So the higher these are, the more likely you're going to actually complete the speech checks. Moving on to skills. So right next to secondary, there is skills. We move over to skills. Our first one is alchemy. That's self-explanatory. We make potions, we sell potions, we drink potions, we use potions. Potions are good. Potions are life. Potions are love. Then we move to craftsmanship. You can see there's a little star on here. It's also indicated we have a perk point. That took me 2 hours to figure out what that was. I'm trying to save you time as you're moving through this because you probably are not playing this game nearly as much as I am. Craftsmanship, and then you have drinking. Drinking is a skill in KCD2. Drinking is very important. You need to figure out how to drink. I don't drink in real life, but in KCD2, I'm trying to drink whenever I can. It gives you great buffs, and people like you more when you're drinking. We have horsemanship. Obviously, we do not have a horse. Hopefully, I get to that point in this walkthrough where we do get a horse. Houndmaster. There's a whole video that I have on trying to track down Mutt. It took us about 4 hours. So if you have questions of that, I'll be linking it right here when I post this later, and that is at minute number 17. Scholarship. We need to go to Derek Zoolander's school for kids that want to read good. And this is where we start. We have to start reading. Reading is how we gain more skills, and also we gain more knowledge. It'll also give us little points on the map that we might be able to find. And then eventually, when you hit level 18, it'll give you the biggest buff to the hardcore run that you're going to be in. And that is your... It's going to give you the perk Explorer at level 18. And Explorer is going to give you every point of interest on the map grayed out so you can find it. And again, you're on hardcore, so this really helps you. And then on top of that, it removes the fog of war so you can see everything. Then you have stealth. This is how you sneak around and pick locks, that kind of thing, as well as stealth kill. And I think the other thing is too, it just lets you sneak around better. Everyone knows stealth. Survival. Completely underrated, but one of my favorites. Survival is the easiest ones to do, and it goes hand in hand with alchemy. And then you also have thievery, which is when you pick a lock or you pickpocket, you gain experience to this, and it's slightly different than stealth. But there are a lot of these skills that go hand in hand with each other. I'm going to point one out. Survival goes hand in hand with alchemy, because survival, you pick the flowers. Alchemy, you use the flowers. As well as stealth and thievery are the same usually. Houndsmaster and horsemanship are independent because they are dependent on your companion, and your companion is either Pebbles or Mutt. And again, if you want to watch those videos of getting it, we're hopefully getting at least Pebbles at the end of this, just so you have an idea where you're at. This might sound like a crash course, but this is a crash course on actually how to play KCD2. We're going to move on to combat. Combat right here is completely separate for you to see. You have warfare, and then it depends on what type of weapon you use. If you use a sword, it's under swords, heavy weapons, polearms, unarmed, and marksmanship, all respectively. Just remember that. And again, you see under warfare and in swords, you have perk points. Make sure you use perk points all the time. It will show up on the top right hand corner that you have a perk point, and it's a little tambourine sound, just so you know. Then moving over to, let's just take a moment and use our perk points. Craftsmanship, there is very little craftsmanship in Trotsky. Troskevich. You have to go to Trotsky, and we are going to make that run just so you know where to go and start your craftsmanship. We're going to use, at this point, we are just going to use the Razor Sharp, because the Razor Sharp is one of the easiest ones to get, and this gives us a 10% bonus to our damage. I want to take a moment and tell you that warfare is highly not recommended until your Henry is a little bit stronger. Henry is not a superhero. He will get his ass kicked a lot. And when you're on hardcore, they will attack you differently. And I wanted to point that out. The tactics are all different. And on top of that, and we're going to get into it when we actually do some fighting, and this is when we're trying to get down to the points that we need to go to, which is Pebbles in Samine, and we need to go to the blacksmith in Trotsky. So I'm going to point these out for you, but do not get in fights unnecessarily. For the first 15 hours, I basically avoided the roads mainly because I was getting beaten to heck by just the lowest level bandit, just so you know. This is a live walkthrough, so if you do have questions, please put it in chat, and I'd love to chat with you. I'm going to take a quick thing for water. All right, so we're going to first use that one, and then we're just spending our perk points. And over here, we're just going to do the St. Vivian. It's kind of hard to level up the drinking early. And then we're just going to do the Saddler. And you could do whatever you want under the horsemanship because obviously we don't have it. This is one that gets ignored all the time. No laughing, we are not starting over, but we're doing a crash course on my main playthrough on the basics. So you can see hardcore. I loaded up a previous save from my hardcore run, and we are just working through that. And this is going to be loaded as a I'm also going to be loading this as a tutorial. So cushion is very important. It gives you a buff when you're reading, as well as increases your comfort. So you're going to be able to read better and faster. Cushion is important because the more time that we are spending reading, the less time we have to do things at night. Warfare, we're going to go through, and we're going to do the head protection, because if we get hit in the head and we're wearing a helmet, it can kill us very quickly. I'm going to show you under here for the swords. We have perk points under the swords. Let's start with the opening strike. And now we have successfully spent all of our perk points. Please use your perk points as quickly as possible, because whenever you're using the perk points, it will help you and increase your quality of life. It is very, very good to do that. I'm going to point out combos. We know very little combos right now, and it's very hard to actually perform a combo early when you are very low in skill set. Just so you know, there's a skill check that's running in the background, and if your skills aren't high enough, you're not going to be able to perform those combos well. Now, I've seen a lot of other streamers and people that play, and they get frustrated with the combat early because they are performing this as a, hey, I do A plus B and I equal C. It doesn't work that way in this game. There's a lot going on, and you have to remember that your Henry is underpowered and he is not a superhero. So under this, you're going to see all the combos that you know already. And again, you're not going to know all of them, but you can unlock these by going to trainers, as well as being able to increase your stats under each of them. We're going to move to buffs. Currently, there's no buffs here, but we do have debuffs under our main level. And again, I showed you the stat line, and we do actually have a little bit of a buff here, which is Charming Man. And this is what we have because we found it under our, let me see, it's under speech. I think it's under speech. Well, we'll find that later. But again, we're just doing this. I'm going to introduce you to the reputations system. The reputation system is very fun inside of KCD2. It's the easiest ways to get discounts and for people to like you. The easiest way for people to get like you is by being nice to them. If you're being nice to them, you're not being a dick. Don't be a dick in KCD2 because you will get your ass kicked. And again, this is a live walkthrough, so we will get our ass kicked on accident, just so you know. But individually on each one of these, you're going to see a little smiley face, and then you're going to see down here a little number. Let me move my my icon here, my video screen. But you see this little icon on the bottom that says 62, and that right there is your reputation inside of that group. If it's a smiley face, they like you. If it's a red face, they do not like you. We're going to start right here. The people in Trotsky do not like us very much, even though the individual people inside of Trotsky kind of like us. So keep that in mind. You have your statistics right here. This is a brand new, so we've only had 23 hours actually in the game. This gives you the world time passed, as well as the money that you have, which is $5. And just so you have an idea, I'm going to point out right here, hold on a second, there's a hidden buff in here to your first horse. I'm going to point this out right now so you will know when we get there. But under distance traveled, you're going to see, and it doesn't pop up yet, actually here it is, distance ridden. You've only ridden for 650 meters. When you hit 32 kilometers on Pebbles, that is not 32 total, but 32 on Pebbles, you are going to unlock Pebbles, and Pebbles is going to be upgraded to one of the best horses in the game. Keep in mind, in the beginning, Pebbles is not good until you hit 32 kilometers. The reason why I'm pointing this out is because there is 0 fast travel in hardcore. 0. The only way you can hardcore fast travel is if you complete a quest and it is moving you to the next zone. Keep that in mind. And again, we have all of our debuffs on. We don't have all of them, but there's 10 possible debuffs, and one of them does give you a free fast travel to anywhere on the map every time you sleep. You have insomnia, so keep that in mind, and you have sleepwalking. I did not play with that because I did not want to tear my hair out, so I just wanted to point that out. That is a crash course right there on the stat system for Henry. Now we're going to move to our inventory. You're going to see on the inventory right here, you have your all, weapons, armor, food, books, material, quests, other, and then right here is an icon. You do not have it at the moment, but this is your horse, and that is the inventory for Pebbles. When you get your horse, which is the most important thing that you do in this game, is immediately get your horse whenever possible. You're going to be able to increase your inventory space. One of the debuffs halves your inventory space. I did not use that. Keep in mind, again, Henry is not a superhero, so he cannot carry that much weight. You see down here, you have our weight icon as well as how much money we have. Let's just equip some weapons. And right here, we're going to see right here, down here on the bottom, it says unequip or drop. We are going to equip it. Then I'm going to go over here to the torch. It is under other weapons. I hit E. It is now equipped to my Henry. Torch is highly important. I will show you this later. I do not recommend not playing without a torch. We're going to put on just some basic stuff, and then I'm going to introduce you to the belt. The belt has inventory slots. This is how you have your inventory slots. And again, we are playing on PC. We're not playing on console. So I do not know the commands for that, but I'm going to tell you your belt, which is limited to the slots, will increase your slots. We're going to equip the belt, and then you're going to be prompted with your first walkthrough when we're at this point. I'm going to show you how to access this also, but here's your hotkeys. So the belt is equipped. We're going to put on some clothing, and again, we're completely dirty. We're going to put on basically everything that we can, and then I'm going to start showing you comparison. On the left hand side, you're going to start seeing comparison. You have these boots that we have on right now, and then you have these boots right here. If it's red, it's bad. If it's green, it's good. It's very simple. Green, or it's like a teal. So again, this one right here is less. This one is more. This is food. We're going to need to eat food. I'm going to show you here in a moment, again, the basics and the easiest way to get started. And it's not by eating regular food, but it's by eating honey. And I'm going to show you where to find honey immediately. I'm going to introduce you now to Saviour Snops. This is the only way to save the game in the game without sleeping in a bed that you own. You rent it or it's given to you. Owned bed or Saviour Snops is the only way to save the game. And I'm going to show you how to actually make those soon. But I do want to say there is a third way of doing it, and I'm going to show you right now. If you hit exit and you go down to here, you can do a save and quit. You're only allowed one save and quit file per playthrough. Now you can have 2 playthroughs max on the game, but you're only allowed one save and quit playthrough that gets overwritten over and over again every time that you do it. In my first 15 hours roughly, I didn't have enough Saviour Snops, so I abused that as my way of saving. Now I play on NVIDIA GeForce Now, which is a online cloud gaming rig, so I had to restart every single time. I do not recommend that for you. And again, I did not read a lot of walkthroughs or anything like that, and that's why I'm actually giving you these walkthroughs at the moment. Please, if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments, and I'll be able to answer them as we go along. But I also might get to them, and I will tell you that I'll get to that in a moment. I'm going to show you right here. This is help. This is very important because it will be able to tell you some of the things that I just summarized for you. I routinely in the beginning reference the help, and I do recommend it for you. I recommend it for anyone. Do not be ashamed of asking for help or trying to figure it out. But you can see in here there's help, and it's very important. So now I'm going to take a quick moment, and we're going to go back in, and I'm going to show you how to equip at least the marigold option, which is your health potion, onto the belt. And this is very important because people mess this up all the time, but they do not select this. Oh, I don't have a pouch, so you have to have a pouch to do that, but I didn't have one. We have a recipe for Saviour Snops. By default, you know what it is. They give it to you right off the bat. If you don't know where it is, it's right here. Also, you're going to be able to see it when we get to the alchemy bench, and I'll show you in a moment. Down here, I don't know how we had all this, but we have, oh yeah, I forgot. This was from me getting to this point. And again, we're loading from an old save of mine, so I was trying to figure out. But right here, we have all of the materials for the alchemy that we already found in the wild, and I'm going to show you how to dry them. When you do not have a higher level alchemy, drying the materials does actually affect the quality of the potion you're going to make versus a fresh material. But you're going to be able to get a perk later on that will get rid of that. But dried items are always going to be by default condition 100, and condition is found on this little icon right here. It's a heart symbol with a crack through it. Condition 100 versus, let me see if I can find the food, condition 65 or condition 88. I do not recommend eating anything under 80 because if you get a stomach ache, you can get food poisoning and die. I hope I made that clear. Do not eat stuff under 80%. This is the 1300s. People died at 27. That was an old man. Remember that. You're playing in the 1300s. Okay, so that's the basics on that. You have your keys, your money, some lockpicks, bandages. Bandages are really important to at least carry some bandages because you will fall, you will hurt yourself, you will get hurt, and you will start bleeding. And if you bleed out, you will be dead. Again, this is the 1300s, and you will die. You are not Superman. You are Henry. We have a blacksmith's kit. This is what you use to repair your weapon if you're not close to a grinding wheel. I do not recommend a blacksmith's kit unless you're using a weapon that is not an edged weapon, like a blunt weapon. An edged weapon is going to be able to be ground at the grinding bench, and I'm going to show you that momentarily. This took me a long time to figure out right here, but this is miscellaneous. I picked up all these little trinkets and stuff, and I carried them forever. And then I found out that they're absolutely worthless. If it's here in miscellaneous, you can sell it. There's no quest item on it. You can sell it, and that's it. Because you want to make sure that you keep track of your inventory space. I'm going to introduce you over here to the rest of our stat lines. And that's under our Henry right here. But you see right here, we have our armor. And these icons right here, they're not very self-explanatory, but I'm going to show them to you. The one in the front is your pierce, either damage or resistance. This one is your slash damage or your slash resistance. And then your blunt damage or your blunt resistance. Again, I say it that way because there's armor and weapon. As you see here, we have this little trashy sword in slot 1, and then you see it's in slot 1 across here. If you had a slot 2, it would be here in 3 and 4, but it says 41, 47, and 18. So if you hit someone like a blunt weapon, you only do 18, but if you stab someone, you do 41 roughly, and then 47 if you slash. So keep that in mind when you're using it to attack someone. And then you have your resistances. I don't know how they all pan out, but make sure that you know whenever you're attacking someone for 41, it depends on how much armor they're wearing and in that area too. So keep that in mind. And again, we have all of our stat lines right here, our speech, our charisma, our speed, a conspicuousness, noise, and visibility, as well as our nourishment and stuff. That was a lot to cover. But that is the crash course on how to use your menu to start here. Now we're going to take a quick moment because we're going to move on to number 2. All right. Now that we covered the basics, that was 40 minutes of conversation. Victor, where do I go? I'm brand new. Again, we hit the map button. Where the hell are we? I think we're here. So, the easiest way, if you can find someone.
Keep the peace and we won't have any problems.
He's hitting us with a speech check. So if you talk to him and he talks to you and you hit Q and you respond to him and you answer politely, he likes you more. So we walk up, we have an option to rob, or we have an option to talk. He's talking to someone right now, so it's not allowing me to talk to him, and that would be rude. So we're going to go over here, and we're just going to ask her, hey, we can ask for directions. Where are we?
Could you explain to me where we are?
I'm going to point this out, because again, you're playing on hardcore. Navigation is the most important thing. You only get this pin until you exit this. So you have to know where you're at. It's going to center the map and put the pin on there. And that's exactly where you are. If you exit out of this and then you open up the map again, it's going to open up to a random area and you're not going to see the pin anymore. So take note of where exactly you are. We know we are in Truskovich. We are right here, which is right outside of, it looks like, the tavern, but we don't have any icons. And we're right next to what's called a point of interest tipster. So she had a tip, and we talked to her, and she told us that we have a, hold on a second, that we have a quest, and she gave it to us, which was the combat training. Again, we are not going to go find Mutt at this moment because it took me 4 hours to run the quest line to get Mutt myself, and that is linked in the description, and you guys can watch that later. So it's not in the description yet, but it will be. All right, so that's where we are. I open it up and I open it again, and it's gone now. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to try to find some points of interest, as well as navigate Truskovich. I'm going to turn around from the gallows, and people spend a lot of time in this area to start, but we're going to walk over here, and we're going to see on top, we discovered this tavern. You see that has a wreath right here? That means it's a tavern. So I go right here, there's this little icon that says, this is a tavern. I'm only pointing this out rudimentary because this is how we figure out where we're at. That's Trotsky Castle. It's in the middle of the map. And it is roughly here. So if you're looking at it from here, you see it there, and you know you're next to the tavern, that's where you are. So that's the easiest way to start. And we go over to here and we talk to the milkmaid lady.
What would you like?
And she'll ask us if we want to sell anything, and it's going to prompt us with working with this here. Can you place your own pin in hardcore mode? No. Hopefully that answers the question for you. Let's get out of this. You cannot place a pin in hardcore. Okay, but good question. Thank you, Laughing Lotus, and that's why we're doing the live tutorial. Okay, you see people over here. There's a musician. There's a dice guy back there. I'll teach you how to play dice soon, but we're going to talk to innkeeper Betty. But she's mad at us, so we can't do anything. And then if we had more money, we can start playing against this guy. I'll show you how to do that in a moment, but not right now. I'm going to show you the first place you can sleep when the innkeeper is happy with you, and that is right here. Back here, this took me a while to find when I was playing on hardcore my first time, but it's right there. And then we have another point of interest right here, and I'm going to introduce you to drying racks. Drying racks, you just hit the info right here, and you're able to dry the item, and it'll save it forever at 100%, but at the same time, it will degrade it to a certain level. So keep that in mind when you're using the drying rack as a way to keep your flowers from wilting. Now, if your flowers wilt all the way, you can actually use them on the drying rack, and it will go all the way back up to 100, but you will have a penalty when you're actually doing the the alchemy, and I'm going to show you that in a moment. There's items everywhere that you can steal. Make sure you do not steal it in broad daylight, because you will get caught when you're so low, and these guys will kick your ass. And again,
God be with you.
I'm being nice to
How's the
them,
watch going?
Not bad, so far.
and whenever you're nice to them, you increase your reputation a little bit. I'm going to show you now. The first thing that you need to do when you get into the area is you start picking flowers. Because if you pick flowers, you can make alchemy. And when you can make alchemy, you can make money. A lot of people want to go hunting, and they go running off out there really fast. It's not the best idea, because you're going to run into too much stuff that can kill you, and you're so low level in the beginning that you will get your butt kicked. We're going to move over here, and this guy is the carpenter.
Good day to you.
The carpenter will allow
Show
you
me your wares.
to buy ranged weapons, as well as some sketches, and I'm going to show you some areas here in a moment, and a couple of really good dice. We'll get to the dice in a little bit, but as you can tell, he has I have almost nothing that he wants, but I'm going to do my first transaction. I select this by hitting E. Over here there's nothing that I want, so I'll just leave it alone, and I'll hold down haggle.
Let's talk about the price.
And the reason why we're holding down haggle, this is the best tip that I can give you to increase your reputation fast, is you can either haggle them down, you save money, or you give them just a little bit more and they're going to like you. So we're going to give them just one tick more,
Here. And
we give them a little tip.
Well, well, thank you very much. Thank you.
And you'll see up on the top right hand side it says reputation gained, reputation gained. You doubled your reputation gain just by doing that one little thing and not being too greedy. I'm going to show you right here. This icon is the this is the grinding wheel. We're going to take the sword and we're going to hit the grinding, and it's going to prompt us with the grinding. And if you just joined us, we're doing a live walkthrough on how to get started on hardcore. And I have about 80 hours of hardcore so far, but we're using a previous save, and I'm going to be recording this for our tutorial walkthrough. So this is the grindstone, and then you're going to rotate the blade just a little bit back and forth, and then you're going to hit the pedal to start it moving. You're going to start seeing sparks. White sparks are really good, yellow sparks are okay, and if you start seeing smoke, you can't really see it right now, but if you start seeing smoke, it means that you're actually damaging the weapon. If you bring the weapon down to 0, you will break the weapon, or you will reduce it in quality. And eventually you want to get it to the point that Henry says that's sharp enough and it's done. And we just hit the razor sharp perk in the top right hand side, so that means just by default we know it is at least 95%. Also, I will tell you, you can degrade your weapon over and over again and grind it to gain more XP. I would not recommend that, because you just don't need to do that much. We just got a prompt saying that one of our items is heavily damaged, and that is right here, our shoes. You cannot click on it and it goes straight to it. You actually have to go down here, and you see that our shoes are damaged to 19%. So we need to repair our shoes. You'll see these troughs everywhere. These troughs are how you wash yourself. When you wash yourself, you're more presentable. Make sure that you wash yourself all the time. It will remove blood from you and from the gear that you are currently wearing. It will not remove blood from your weapons. Just so you know, it will remove the blood, it will remove the stink, but it will not remove blood from weapons, and it will not remove dirt. I'm going to show you how to wash that later. So you wash yourself, and it says you're as clean as you can get right here. Now there's things you can do here at the carpenter, but I'm not going to walk you through too much because I'm actually going to show you the first tip on how to actually make either some money or survive by eating. We're going to go outside of this, and on the bottom of, it's right about, and again you have to actually navigate this, right here and right here there are beehives. These 3 right here are considered stealing. These 5 over here are free game. We're going to go over here, and as you can see, that guy is actually looking at us. We're going to wait for him to actually look away. We're going to make sure no guards come by, but we can actually steal from this, and we're going to take all the honey. You have an option to collect all or transfer all, and you're going to use that. And again, you want to grab this as quickly as possible because it's considered stealing. Now over here though, there's more. You're going to take as much honey as you can because the honey is going to sustain you in the beginning, and eventually you can start eating other things, but you want to make sure that you grab the honey as quickly as you can. And they don't always have 10, but they do max out at 10. This one doesn't have anything, so whenever I'm in an area with beehives, I always take the honey by habit. But the reason why I'm showing you this is because you can also turn around and sell this honey almost immediately and make some money. Because we have, under the food tab here, we have 30 units of stolen honey. I'm going to take a quick moment and talk about theft. If you steal something in the area, you're going to have a little red icon here that says it's stolen. If you read the actual description, it's going to say where it's stolen from roughly. It's also going to tell you how much nourishment it's going to be if it's a food item, or how much it weighs, that kind of thing. But you're going to be able to see right here, it says stolen in Truskevich. If you sell stuff that you stole to the people that you stole it from, they will turn you in and you will get in trouble. Keep that in mind. Do not sell things that you stole in the same area that you are currently in. They will find it. And that also goes for stuff that you wear. Do not wear stuff that you stole from a certain area, because the NPCs will recognize it and say, hey, that's mine. So keep that in mind. So if you steal a really cool weapon and you go back to the area that you got it from, they will notice it. Also, when you do a lot of theft in an area or a lot of crime occurs in an area, they will put it on lockdown. And in lockdown, there's going to be a little icon up on the compass on the left hand side that has a gate, and it's a red gate. So make sure that you notice that when it's in lockdown. So on the honey right here, you can see the honey will increase you by 31, but we're playing on hardcore, so you cut that in half. So we're going to eat a little honey. We're going to eat the stolen honey. And currently right now we're carrying 52 units of honey, but in about, I think about 3 or 4 game hours, the honey is actually going to lose its stolen status, just so you know, because it's also based on the value, and that's how the stolen status is added. So if you guys have any questions on that, I just wanted to point that out for you, because I'm going to move from here and I'm going to show you the rest of the area before we move on to some of the vendors and workbenches that you need to go to. So again, over there, that is the pillory, and we're going to go in this direction. And in this direction, we're running at the current moment, and I'm trying to exhaust my guy. Again, you do not see any, you don't see this, but there's a little stamina bar that's hidden because you're on hardcore. The stamina bar is hidden, as well as your health bar is hidden. It will start going gray. The screen will start going gray, and then that means that you are running out of stamina. When you run out of stamina, then you're going to take more damage, and you're going to do less damage. Keep that in mind when you're actually doing this, is because stamina is actually your hidden health bar. The more you lose stamina, the more it's going to actually affect you in combat or what you're doing. So always manage your stamina, and at the same time, it's really hard to do that when you're playing on hardcore. If you're just joining us, we're doing a hardcore walkthrough live. This is a live tutorial, so if you have questions, I'll be able to answer this for you. And I have about 80 hours of hardcore, so I just wanted to give you an idea. On the bottom side, on the bottom of the screen, you can see usually where the HUD is. You can actually see right now that there's two icons. I had to Google them to figure out what they were, but you can just hit this button instead. So you go into your buffs, and it's under debuffs. So we have a debuff because we ate too much and our armor is broken. So I'm going to show you one of the first vendors, and this guy, I actually didn't see him until about 10 hours into the game. But right here we have a vendor that's pretty important, and this is the Tailor. The Tailor will repair clothing as well as gloves and our shoes, most importantly. And he can also be used for a couple of quests, just so you know. But the Tailor is right there. That's a good vendor if you have a bunch of shoes that you might have happened to steal or loot from bodies that might have just somehow got there. I'm going to show you right here. This is also hard, and it took a while for people to find it, but this is where you do laundry. It's grayed out right now, but there's this little option that says wash yourself or launder clothes. If you have soap on your person, you will be able to wash your clothes, and that will wash the dirt off as well as the blood off. And then you're going to be more presentable because you actually take a debuff every time that you are dirty. Moving to the outskirts on the, you see right here, this is the laundry. And then we're moving over here to the furthest eastern side of Troskovich. And then we're going to move our way back so you have an idea where we're at. But over here, if you decide to go hunting, you could go to the butcher. I do not recommend hunting because hunting is poaching. Poaching is a capital offense. If they catch you poaching, they will execute you or brand you. So I do not recommend poaching unless you can thoroughly get away with it. But I didn't know that that place was there for a very long time. Then we are going to start moving over here. And again, we're just naked and afraid, running around. We can have this guy repair our shoes. Let's have him repair our shoes. We ran out of stamina. And I'm going to introduce you to the repair option. I didn't write this out, just so you know, so we're kind of doing it live. So you can take whatever you need repaired. You select it. And he will not be able to repair these shoes because it's too low level, so you have to get new shoes. But let's have him repair this Gambleson. And we don't have enough money to repair it. Actually, we do here. So we do have enough money for him to repair it, but we have up here how much it's going to cost versus how much we have. We only have 7.8 groschen, and he wants 6.2 groschen. So we can haggle him.
Let's talk about the price.
But of course.
We can haggle him down, and if we haggle him down successfully, we get speech experience, or if we haggle him up, we get more reputation. So it's up to you how you want to do it. I did a little of both for a while, but I also like to haggle up, usually to get my reputation up in the area, and then by default the prices are lower.
Here, and something for your trouble.
But I want to say thank you for joining us today. We're doing a live walkthrough of a hardcore in the beginning. So in the case that you decided you want to do a hardcore run, I'm giving you a quick idea. Now I'm going to introduce you to navigation, because we've just discovered a couple of landmarks, and I'm going to show you how to find out kind of where you are and how you're oriented. Now, I used to be a forward observer in the Marine Corps. So they taught me this back in the Marines, and I'm going to give you a quick tip. But you want to find landmarks, orient yourself, and triangulate yourself. So I'm going to show you some things real fast. If we are right here in the pillory, yeah, we know where we're at because we're in the pillory, and that's right here. But if we know where the pillory is, and we know where something else is, we can determine where we are. So let's move over here. If we were all the way out here, and we just ran up on this place, and we see this random area here, where are we? Well, what I see over here, there's some beehives. I see there's a road here. I see there's a fence. And then I see that there's buildings. So I know I'm roughly in this area right here, just by orienting myself, because I draw a line back from here, a line back from this intersection, and a line to wherever, and right in the middle is where I'm at roughly. Now, that's just a basics of triangulation, but I'm going to get into that later if you have any questions. But it really helps when you're like out in the middle of nowhere and you're completely lost. If you can find at least one landmark, you might be able to figure out where you are. Because again, on hardcore, you don't know where you're at. Usually there's a little icon that shows you where you're at, or you can fast travel somewhere. You cannot do that on a hardcore. You have to do it the old-fashioned way. So I know that I'm over here. I'm by these beehives. Again, these beehives actually don't show up in this map because they're over here, but they're right here. These are the ones that are owned, and these are the unowned ones over here. Now we're going to move up, and I'm going to show you the next little area. A lot of people I've seen online when I'm playing this game, or I'm watching people play this game, or I'm talking to my friend, they get overwhelmed because there's so much going on. You're going to spend probably about your first 5 or 6 hours in Trough, maybe even 10. So don't worry about it. The game's really big. You're going to spend a lot of time here. This is your home base, and there's a reason why I'm spending so much time equating it to it. Up here, and it might tell us, but I'm going to introduce you to the Indulgence. It's right here. I could pay the church 71 groschen, and they're going to restore my reputation. Or I can go in here, and I can talk to the Scribe, and then the Scribe,
what do you need, my friend,
is going to be able to sell me
your wares.
books right here. And there's two different types of books. There's lore books and there's skill books. And you see all these skill books? These teach me new stuff. Also, it would teach me recipes. And again, we already know this recipe, so we're just going to sell it to him. And we know that we know it because there's no little star icon. So we're actually just going to sell it to him right now.
I'd like to do something about that price.
And again, we don't look good at all. We're going to give him a little more money, so he likes me more.
Many thanks.
And the higher our reputation, the better.
Good day to you, friend.
Depending on how you want to do your playthrough. And again, it's your Henry, so just play your Henry the best you can, or how you like it. But that right there is the main guardhouse area. And there's a reason why I showed you it, because if you go in there at night, you can actually find quite a bit of loot to buy, to steal in that area. Now, we're going to move over to our main vendors. Our main vendors in this area are this guy. And this is a general store. He's a trader. We can talk to him.
Was möchtest du, mein Freund?
And he's also going to tell us some points of interest.
I'm not from here, and I'd like to get my bearings.
Ja, natürlich. Aber das ist
It just tells you some areas. You can ask him all about this stuff.
Is there anything I should have...
Certainly, yeah. Ach so, that is all because...
And again, we don't need to actually know this stuff
So the roads are...
Ja, das
at the
kann
moment
man.
because we're doing an actual,
What
like,
do you have for sale?
what's the word? We're doing the tutorial. So over here, our first item we want to actually buy is this Wanderer's pouch, and it's 57 groschen. But how do we get to 57 groschen, Victor? I'd love to help you. Let me show you. So we're going to hit this. We're going to hit this button, and we're going to just turn around and sell some stuff to this guy. And if we try to sell him this honey, he's not going to buy it because it is stolen. Also, if we get stopped by a guard, they will confiscate the honey. So we want to make sure we're on good terms with the guards right now, because they will take the honey from us. But we're going to move to my first tip that took me 65 hours to find in the game. Your wheel button on your mouse will be able to select how much you want to actually sell in here. I was going the ASDS option right here forever, but the wheel button will be able to select what you need to sell. So we're going to select it all, and we're going to select this mead, and then let's see here, we'll select this Bowman's Brew, because we're not going to be using the Bowman's Brew anytime soon. And we had previously made some marigold concoctions, but we're going to sell that to him. And then we're going to sell him these bandages. And the reason why we're selling him these bandages as opposed to these bandages up here is because they have more condition left, which means we can use more of them. Then we're going to hold down haggle. Actually, we have about 103 groschen to play with. So we're going to go over here and we're going to buy the Wanderer's pouch. And when you buy the Wanderer's pouch, you're going to be able to use more inventory spaces. I'm going to introduce you to the Cobbler's Kit. The Cobbler's Kit is the way that you repair your shoes. The Armorer's Kit is how you repair your armor. The Blacksmith's Kit is how you repair your weapons. There's also a Gunsmith's Kit, and that's how you repair a gun. You're not going to get a gun probably until like 40 or 50 hours into the game, just so you know. We're going to buy, just to make everything a little bit easier, an Armorer's Kit also. I always recommend haggling down whenever possible, because, and again, we only have 18 groschen on us. So we got to be careful to save our money, but I'm going to show you how to make money here in a moment. So I'm going to haggle.
I'd like to do something about that price.
Gut, dann mal los.
And I'm going to introduce you first
Do you accept?
That's too
to a
much.
failed attempt. He is upset with us. The little icon there, it fills up to red, and he will end the trade. You also see a 5. He will automatically accept 5. And I can hit pay 0, and that's what I'm trying to ask here.
Why? You'll convince me with that.
And then he
price?
says you convinced him.
Wirst sicher zufrieden sein. Bis
So you
gleich.
gained reputation, and you also gained experience for that transaction. Now, hold on a moment. Sorry, my friends are texting me. I told them I was recording. But now what we're doing is we're going to equip the pouch so we can put some hotkeys in, and it's going to make our life easier. So we go to the pouch, and I thought for the first 5 hours, I thought that I had the pouch equipped. I did not. I'm just going to hit E, and it's automatically attached. Now we're going to go down to the marigold decoction, and we're going to hit E, and it's going to put it right in that spot right there. Now I can also do the Saviour snaps, and I'm going to put it, actually it doesn't have that one. Okay, so this one only has one slot on this one. And then we're going to go over here, and if we had another weapon, this took a while for me to figure out, but you have to do the W and the S on PC or the up and down in console, but you have to put it in a different slot. So we're going to put the heavy weapon on slot 2, and we'll have the regular weapon, the sword, in slot 1. We exit out of that. If I hit 1, I open up my weapon, I sheath it. 2, I open up my mace and I sheath it. Or if I hold down 5, I'm going to drink my marigold concoction. And that's the intro to Hotkeys. Now we're going to move over here. And this is the Alchemy area. This is all free items to that you can pick up. You can dry them. That'll give you survivor experience. Or if you pick the flowers, it'll give you survivor experience. But this is where you're going to get all your materials to actually do the alchemy. And I recommend you starting alchemy early because it's really easy to actually figure out. So we're going to go over here and we're going to take sage. And we picked up 2 sages. We're going to pick all the sage. And the reason why we're picking up the sage is because sage is really hard to find. And it's going to give us experience. And hopefully after we pick all these flowers, which might take us a couple of minutes, but it's going to give us a couple of options for perk points. I always recommend picking as many flowers as possible because I'm actually going to show you what we have. And we have our first perk point that just came up for survival. People say, hey Victor, but I didn't play KCD2 to be a flower picker. I understand, but this is how you get started, and this is how you actually will make some money so you don't run around and get killed just because you had a heavy sneeze. We go to survival, and you have 3 options here. You have Master Cook. Don't recommend it. You don't have to worry about anything like that. You have Flower Power, which is really good because it gives you a +2 to charisma. Or you have Wanderer, and this increases the quality of your sleep at beds. Now, I just recommend Flower Power. And again, do not save your perk points. Use them as soon as possible because, again, you will be able to get more of them. You will get a perk point every other upgrade when you hit a certain point, just so you know. So we're going to hit the Flower Power and it immediately goes on. And if you go to buffs, you will see it as active because Flower Power says as long as we have at least 30 flowers, either dried or fresh, on our person, we smell better. So then we will be able to have a +2 to charisma. If you look right here, our charisma went from 2 to 4 and it's in blue, and that means it's better. Over here, again, red is bad, blue is good. I said green earlier, but there you go. And the reason why I showed you that is because this is the fastest way to earn XP really fast, but it's not the most fun. But the reason why we're doing this is because we're going to be able to turn around and make some money fairly quickly, and we're going to be able to buy some items of value that might be important because we're going to do our first thing out there, and that's a little bit of combat, and I'll show you in a moment because we're going to actually try to move to the next area. And again, we're at a very low level, but we're going to do a speed run to the other 2 areas that you actually need to go to in the game. So just a moment, we were picking these things up. I'm going to show you here real fast. But in your skills, if you go down to survival again, your next skills that you get are going to be grade. And then beyond that are going to be completely grayed out. When I get to level 10, I'm going to get either Lucky Find, Leg Day, or Bounty of the Wild. The reason why I'm pointing these out is because Leg Day, whenever you bend down to collect an herb, you gain a small amount of experience for strength. Lucky Find is whenever you bend down and you collect an herb, you have an option, you have a chance of actually picking up some sort of small treasure, which is usually a miscellaneous item, a piece of jewelry, or you will find extra herbs. I recommend this because it makes picking herbs faster, as well as you're going to get stuff as well. It's just free money, and the way that I got a lot of my rings and jewelry early is I actually picked them up from this. So I want to point that out, and that's at level 10. There's a reason why I'm picking all these flowers, is because I'm going to show you here in a moment how to actually dry them, which will also increase your reputation, not your reputation, but your experience in that. Now we're going to move over here, and this one's not marked, but I'm going to show you here in a moment. There's marigold, and then right about here there's mint. Mint is very hard to find in this game. Sage is the second hardest. Mint is also very hard to find, but we're going to pick this mint because mint is what we use to actually make perfumes. So we have roughly 14 pieces of mint on us, and that also means that I can now show you how to make a very expensive item, and I'm going to show you it in just a moment. So let's go over here. There's more marigold. The reason why I'm picking these all up again is because we're going to show you the quick little way of doing this. And this will increase your survival experience very quickly. So now we're going to move over here, and there's more items over here that you may pick. You will not have any consequence to picking these. And then there's also, where is it? There's weeds, and then there's thistles also. I'm trying to find the thistle. This is concoffee, which is a different item. Here's a thistle. Thistles are weeds, and you can usually find them out in the wild. They're everywhere. And don't worry about actually finding these or not, because they're just everywhere. I'm just wanting to show you some of the main areas where you can get them. Over here is some poppy. And then the hardest one to find is actually Belladonna. So we'll take a moment. And again, like I said, you can steal, but we are in this guy's garden, so we might get caught if we steal right now. So we're not going to steal his honey because it's owned. But we're going to take his weeds, and they don't have any problem with us picking up the weeds for them. I'm trying to find some nettle. There's also a secret perk in here that you can get if you pick up a certain number of, I think it's 200 nettles, you will gain some natural resistances. Let's see here, some marigold. I need some nettle now. Where's some nettle? Here's some nettle. Nettle is a base for some of the items that you need. And again, if you pick up a certain number of nettles, you're going to be able to get a secret perk. It's a resistance. If I go right here and I go to player and I go to statistics and then I go down to crafting, it'll tell me how many poisonous herbs I picked up, and that's 62. And again, I think it's 250 to actually get that. Now, oh, there's some wormwood here. That's kind of hard to find. Again, it's not the most entertaining, but this is an idea of where you start when you're playing a hardcore run. Over here in the field, and it's very hard to find, is Belladonna. I'm going to see if I can find it, but I might embarrass myself on stream because it's very hard to find. But there's Belladonna, and Belladonna is what you need to save the game. It's very hard to find, but I just wanted to tell you that there is some Belladonna around here. I just, for the life of me, can hardly ever find it over here. Where is it? I thought that was it. It's right next to this tree somewhere. Where is it? I think it's... I don't see it, but it's over here. I just wanted to point out where you can find some Belladonna. Now we're going to move back, and we're going to go to the crafting station, and I'm going to show you.
God be with you.
And again,
The peace.
this guy's yelling at us, and we want to be friends with him.
How's the watch going?
And we're just going to pick up a little more nettle because we're working on our resistances. Again, if you have any questions, this is a live tutorial on a hardcore walkthrough. So now that we picked up a lot of these materials and such, we're actually going to now move on to a little bit of crafting. And you're like, hey Victor, but I don't have the Belladonna. Well, this guy will sell us Belladonna. And this is the alchemist. The alchemist will sell us the Belladonna.
I'll have a look at the wares.
And we could also sell him any of the herbs that we just picked at no charge. So it's just free money just sitting around. So if you need, like I like to do, I actually want to buy some of these things in here, but you do not need to buy them. You can look them up, and I'm going to link in here a couple of these options, but you can actually just hit the button in the correct amount of ways, and you're going to buy just by random luck. If you follow a tutorial online, you can actually do all these without knowing the actual recipe, but I'm actually going to show you how to do that in a moment. But I'm going to go down here and I'm going to buy a little Belladonna so we can make some Saviour stops. Yeah, we're going to buy like all of his Belladonna. Then we're going to turn around and we're going to try to sell him almost all of this nettle. Because again, we just ran around his field to buy this. And then we could sell him bandages. And we have to come up with roughly 94 to buy this bunch Belladonna from him. But again, I'm actually going to show you here why we did all this earlier. And that's because we are going to turn around and sell as much of this to him as possible. Let's only take 2 Belladonnas because they're too expensive. So we'll get 4 groschen from this. We'll haggle.
Let's talk about the price.
Good. Done, my
And again,
lord.
it's not a lot of money, but when I left this area, I had like 16,000 groschen, just so you know. But you don't have to have that much.
Dankeschön.
Okay, so we gained some reputation. Now we're going to go down here and I'm going to show you how to make money fairly quickly. And that's actually by the alchemy. We have, I just pulled up the wheel. This is the wheel for time. Currently right now it is roughly 1:30 in the afternoon. If we rested, it would advance the time slot about an hour. And then there's all this time over here for nighttime activities. We're going to use some time here during the day, and then I'm going to show you where we are going to sleep when we get to the point that we need to sleep. This is the alchemy workbench. You have your base over here. This is what you need to start with. You have water, wine, oil, and spirits. You have the bellows. You have a distiller here. This is the cauldron, and then that is the turn dial. Over here you have your recipes. And again, the reason why I'm showing you this is because we're doing a walkthrough. I'm going to hit exit and I'm going to show you right here. This gets missed all the time, but there is a free recipe sitting right here. Pick it up. Now you have a new recipe. Also, you can pick up a strong elixir here, and you can turn around and dry all of those items that we just picked up right here. The reason why we're going to dry all of this is because it's going to give us what is it? Survival experience. And I'm only drying the stuff that I am not going to use at the current moment. So we hit dry, and thank you for joining me. We're doing a walkthrough, and this is a live tutorial, so if you have questions, please ask them in chat. Okay, so you see we just upgraded our survival because we dried all of our herbs. That is one of the fastest way to get our survival up. Not only do we pick them, we use them, but we dry them also. The herbs do have weight, and materials do have weight, so keep that in mind. They are very light, they're 0.1, but they will add up. So make sure that you keep them. I like to keep them around 10 per, and then usually I don't need to have more than like 4 or 5 if they're something that I don't usually make. But now I'm going to move over to the alchemy bench, and you're like, Victor, I only know a certain number of potions. That's fine. I'm going to show you how to do it. We picked up this potion recipe right here. We're going to hold down the E key because we are playing on PC, and it's going to say, hey, you just learned this recipe. Would you like to look at it? We're going to say yes, and this is going to give us the walkthrough of how to actually make that. You see right here, it has this symbol. That means it's using spirits. And if we go to this one, it has this symbol, and that means it has wine. It tells you how much you need, and then it also tells you the way of doing it, as well as the steps that you take. You can find any of these online, and you do not have to buy these, and you will learn the recipe if you just do it by following a tutorial online. So you do not need to buy all of these in the beginning. And I don't recommend it if you're just trying to speed run, but I didn't know that when I was actually doing that. So hit the wrong button, and then we're going to move over here, and I'm going to show you how to actually do one by actually knowing it. So we go over here to read, and we're going to just move over. And again, you will have this crash course on alchemy in the beginning tutorial. Don't worry about that. I'm showing you the more advanced stuff right now. You have the Saviour Snops, and this is how you save the game. You can hold down E, and it will automatically put what you need on the shelf. Now down here, if you see where my icon is, in the corner of this book, is usually where they put the third if it's charcoal or something like that. A charcoal or a horn, just so you know. A lot of people don't know that. So we know that the Belladonna is right here, the nettle's right here, and we're making Saviour Snops, and they're right there. Now, we're going to make the Saviour Snops because you need to have as many of them as possible, because we are going to be saving the game. We're going to throw it in, and then we're going to take another one, and we're going to throw it in. We're going to grind it. We're going to put it down. And the reason why I did it out of order, because if you see it says add the nettle to the cauldron and turn for boil for 2 turns. We are going to now move over to the wine. I just wanted to have that ground so I was ready and I didn't waste any time. I'm showing you the most efficient way possible. Now we're going to grab the nettle. We're going to put it in. We're going to put it down. And then we're going to pull the bellows once. And then we're going to flip this over. And it says we're going to do it for 2 turns. So we're going to have to do it again. And we're going to do it again. And then we'll take it off the heat as soon as this goes down. And we'll take it off the heat. And then we'll add the Belladonna. And we just save time like I just showed you. We're going to put it down. And we're going to boil it for 1 turn. And then we're going to take 1 turn. Going to wait for that to be done. And take it off. And then we're going to hold it down. And the reason why we're doing that is because now we could save the game. And we did it perfectly, so we got 3 strong Saviour snubs. Now I'm going to show you how to make something without knowing what it is. You're going to hit inventory, which is I. And again, it shows up on the icon here and it says I. I do not know what this is, so I'm going to hit I. I'm going to use Sage. And actually, let's use the new Sage. I'm going to use the good Sage and the mint. And I'm now going to show you the easiest way to make money fast. I'm going to hit X to confirm, and now it's on the thing here. We're going to take spirits. And there's a reason why I pointed out the mint for you. We're going to take 2 mints. We're going to grind the mint. And we'll put it down. And then we're going to take the sage. 1 handful of sage. And we're going to put it in. And then we're going to put that down. Hit the bellows for 1. Turn for 2. And turn again. And then we're going to take it off the heat. And we're going to add this. And we're going to put it in. And then we're going to grab this vial right here. And then we're going to pour. And if I did that perfectly, we're going to have perfume. And perfume is expensive and it's a great trade item. And we just did. It says right here, you brewed a potion and discovered a new recipe. So if you do not know the recipe, you can now learn it just by following the steps that are on the tutorial. I'm going to put all of the recipes in a comment underneath or in the description so you know. You could sell these for 70 groschen, and it's important because this is the easiest way to start making money in the game, is having mint and sage and then making a couple of these and actually selling them.
I didn't add enough sage.
So we didn't add enough sage. Now, Henry will always tell you what was wrong with it if you do something. So if you don't add enough sage, or if you're hitting things wrong in crafting, he'll tell you. So now if we go over here and we go to the very end, we're actually going to see that the lion perfume is in here now, and we learn the full recipe. So we don't have to do it by memory anymore, but we can actually do it out of the book. And that's how you learn if you don't have it in the book already. Now that it is in the book, I'm going to hit prepare. And now that it's prepared, it's on the shelf and I can just grab it. So I'm going to grab the 2 mints. We're going to grind that. And now that that's ground up, we'll put it down. And then we'll grab the spirits. And now that the spirits are down, I'm going to grab 1. And I'll grab 2. That's what I did wrong the first time. So I only grabbed 1. I'll put that on for a boil. And if you're just joining us, we're doing a live walkthrough and tutorial, and I'm going to be loading this as a tutorial later. So if you have any questions, we are making the lion perfume. We did it by memory first, and now it's in the recipe. Now that we've done that 2 times, we pull it off. We add the mint that has been ground. We put it in. And then we take it here. And then we pour. And again, this is a hardcore walkthrough tutorial. So if you have any questions, I have about 83 hours on the hardcore right now. And I just took some time and I wanted to actually do a run through and a walkthrough just for everyone's help. Now I've done it perfectly. I'm going to stop doing the alchemy right now. I'm going to turn around. I'll check my inventory. Now I have several of these things that I can sell. They're not under potions, but they're actually under utility. So you see how I have 6 of the strong potions and they're worth 70 groschen a piece, and that is because I just picked some flowers. Keep that in mind. That's a very easy way to make money fast. Now that we have that, we are going to go and let's see here. See if we can find any more mint. Oh, there's some more mint. So we can make some more money before we leave this area, because we are going to try to move on to the next area so I can give you an idea of how to navigate, how to get to the next zone, and then also the next zone that you would be in if you're playing on hardcore. So we have a couple more mints. We're going to go in here and we're going to make some more so we have some more money. And again, this is a hardcore tutorial on how to play Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. And I just demonstrated how to make a potion that you do not know. And that's just by using the icon, which is inventory. You put them onto the shelf by hitting I. You go down to your units that you want. You select mint. You select sage. You put it on. And actually it's right here because we already know it, but that's how you can put it in once you know the recipe. So that took a long time for some people to get, and I have seen other streamers get discombobulated on that because again, this is a very big game and I'm just trying to do a crash course for about an hour or 2 more. And we're doing a little bit more on this so we can make some money, because the first thing we're going to do after this is we are going to be trying to move on to the next zone so you have an idea of where you're going to be. And that is probably we're going to move to the blacksmith next, and I can show you what's going on. I'm just trying to move my thing here. There we go. All right. And okay, so we got done grinding. There's no spirits in this yet. We'll put the spirits in. And then we're going to go over here to the sage. We'll put the sage in. And we'll do the sage again. And then we'll move it down. And then we'll do the bellows for 1. And then we'll turn the hourglass for 1 and then 2. And then we'll turn it again. All right, and then you'll take it off the heat. You'll add this. That has already been ground. This is one of the easiest ones to make, but the mint is hard to find. So if you're trying to make some money and you're just grinding out some stuff, sell some stuff, trade it, whatever you need to do, get the mint, get the sage, and then you'll be able to get the Strong Lion's perfume. Now, I'm going to show you some perks here in a moment. But again, we spent the first like 30 minutes actually going over the whole system here, but I'm going to show you the perks in the actual thing here. So our alchemy is now at level 12. Here is our experience bar. We're going to go down here and you're going to see a couple of different options in here. So we have one perk point right here. We have Water of Life that we can use. Healing potions heal you 25% faster. We have Dark Arts Apprentice. This helps us with some speech checks, as well as gives us a buff when we are actually doing stuff at night. We have Purple Haze, which increases our vitality when we're under the effects of a potion. We have Poison Specialist. There's a lot of people that do a poison build. I don't recommend it because actually Bane Poison got debuffed. And then you also have the Art of Preservation. The Art of Preservation, raw foods and herbs will spoil in your inventory 50% slower. That's pretty good because we need that, but we're going to first concentrate on healing because we need to stay alive as much as possible. We have Secret of Equilibrium. This allows us to have a small tolerance for errors. And this is something that I got earlier in the game just because I pounded out some potions before I got to this zone. There is Secret of Equilibrium and Secret of Matter. I recommend doing Secret of Equilibrium 1 and then Secrets of Matter 2 when you get a chance, because it is exclusive and you can only do one or the other for each of these, just so you know. So Secrets of Matter is right here. This is exclusive with Secret of Equilibrium. So you'll do Secret of Equilibrium 1 and Secret of Matter 2. And I recommend that, just so you know. The reason why I'm recommending it in that way is because you're going to have a small threshold for errors, and then you're also going to get 2 extra potions when you have Secret of Matter, just so you know. So you're going to save a lot of time and you're going to be able to grind out potions faster. Now we're going to go over to this gentleman and we're going to turn around and sell this stuff to him, because this is a point that I want to make. If you sell things to like vendors, so potions to the potion vendor, armor to the armor vendor, tailored stuff to the tailor, you're going to get more money for them. So just keep that in mind. So now we go here, we hit trade, and we're going to go over here. We're going to go all the way to the bottom, and we're going to sell him as many of these as we can. And it says get 99.9 groschen, and then the trader still has 328.5. I am going to turn around, and again, because I don't really need any of this for this run, because we are just crash coursing this, I'm actually going to sell all this stuff to him that I can, and then we're going to try to move on to the next zone, and hopefully we can jump someone along the way, because when we jump someone, we're going to be able to get their armor. And that is another recommendation that I have for you, is don't do combat unless you absolutely need to. So, and then we're going to just sell them. We'll put those on the dry rack first. We'll go to haggle.
I'd like to discuss the price.
Good. Done, my lords.
Right now that we're in haggle, again, we want to give him a little more because we're trying to get a better reputation in the area.
That's a bit on top.
The reputation will max out at 100.
Dankeschön.
It takes a while, but I do recommend working on the reputation gain early, even though you will not have a lot of money. But now we are leaving this area with 191 groschen. We're going to walk over here to this guy, and we're going to see if we can buy any better armor or gear before we leave this area. And again, there's quests in here, but for the sake of time, I'm only doing this. There's a quest right here that we can pick up from that guy. I do want to show you a couple of quick freebies in this area before we leave.
What do you have for sale?
Let's buy something from him. Let's buy... Let's see here. We'll sell him these. I should have sold it to the other guy, but I messed up. Oh yeah, I wanted to use these for experience, but that's fine. And then armor kits, we got that. We'll sell on these. And we'll sell them. As you can tell, the honey actually lost its stolen status, so we'll sell him the honey. And that's all that we're going to turn around and sell him, but let's see if he has anything that we can buy. He doesn't really have anything that we need except these lockpicks. We're going to buy these lockpicks from him, and then we'll go to haggle.
Let's do something about that price.
Gut, dann mal los.
And again, we are going to give him one more.
That's a bit on top.
Wunderbar. Du wirst sicher zufrieden sein.
Okay. So now we have 194.5 groschen, and we have a couple of lockpicks to play with. We have 4 lockpicks, and I'm going to show you some quick freebies in this area before we leave. And again, you can get them anywhere that you want, but there's freebies everywhere in this game. So we already picked up the freebie there. I'm going to show you one over here. There's a better weapon that we can pick up, and I'm going to show you where it is. I think it's in there. I can't remember. No, it's in here. Yeah, this guy's got to go. I'm going to show you how to use your torch. And this is kind of important. I have seen people not figure out their torches. You hit R when you are playing on regular, when you're playing on PC. The reason why you open up your torch is because you can be able to see better. Now I'm going to give you another tip. If it's still too dark for you, this happened to a friend of mine. So don't feel bad. But this happened to a friend of mine. He had about 100 hours into the game and he didn't know this. You go down, if you're having trouble seeing, go to settings, go to advanced settings. Actually, not advanced settings. Go to graphics settings. Where is it? Advanced graphics. You're going to turn up your illumination to high. And then you want to turn your image quality to high. And your gamma right here, you see how it's dark and then it's not dark and then it's dark and then it's not dark? Turn it all the way up. I recommend if you're trying to stream this, turn it all the way up. I've seen a lot of streamers not have their gamma turned all the way up, and that's why you can't see. If you see me streaming and you actually watch my streams, which a lot of you do, you notice that I actually have my torch out even when I'm sneaking around sometimes, because it makes for better TV. Keep that in mind. So we go back here, and there is a weapon just sitting here. We pick up this weapon, and now we have an axe. And it is a gold standard axe. But as you can tell, we do not have enough strength to actually use it, so we can turn around and sell it. How much does it sell for, Victor? It's worth 548 groschen, and that's a lot of groschen to leave here, just so you know. So we're going to turn around and sell it to that guy whenever we can. I'm going to try to show you the next item that's a freebie, and it's over here. There is a hayloft. And it's in here. So we're going to go up here. And we have our first trespass option. So we're in a place that we shouldn't be. Now that axe that I showed you is right here in this spot right here, and we are currently up here, just so you know. Now I'm going to go over here, and again you see the blue trespass means we're in a spot that we're not supposed to be. I turn off my light, it makes it less likely that I am detected, and then this is a very easy lockpick. I'm going to now show you the easiest way to learn lockpicking in the game. You see how this is? It's confusing. Let me show you. Your friend Victor is going to show you. Make it gold. Okay, you're going to find the sweet spot somewhere in here. It gets bigger the closer you are to the sweet spot. You find the gold, you hold down whatever item it is. It could be on console, but on when you're actually doing it on PC, it's D. You hold down D, and then you just draw a circle the best that you can. And if you draw a circle, you are going to actually get it. But just think of it as you're drawing a circle instead of looking at that dot and seeing if it's moving around or not, and then you freak out and it's not gold. Well, just make it gold and then draw a circle with it, and that's it. Just hold on to it and move it around, and it's the easiest way to get your lock picking down easily, and then that way you don't overthink it and you're going to be able to level up faster. Now again, we just unlocked this, so we're going to take all this stuff. We got some groschen, we got some items. We're crouching, you see us crouching here. And then we are going to walk over here, and there is a military sword. We're going to take the military sword. And I don't think there's anything else that we can take. I can't remember. And again, we're not supposed to be here, so we need to leave stealthily. And you see right there, it just says we have a perk point. So we're going to immediately go in, and we are going to use the perk point. And we're going to use, for this little one, we're going to do Bushman, so we don't make any noise if we're in the bushes. So now we're going to move down, and you see the little icon at the top that goes away that says trespass. Now we're not in trespass, so we don't have to be crouching. If we're crouching, they will say, hey, you're suspicious, what are you doing? Also, if they see you leaving that area, they will notify the guards and say, hey, that was the guy that took it from us. Now the military sword, again, this is a very good upgrade, but you do not have enough strength or agility to use it yet, nor do you have the skeleton's axe. You don't have enough to actually do it. So we're going to take a look at this real quick, and again, we're not going to equip this stuff until we leave, because you don't want to equip things that you just stole in the area, because the NPCs will recognize it. So we only have let me see, we have a hat that we can put on, and we're going to go turn around and sell. We're not going to sell the axe yet because we just stole it. Again, you don't want to piss him off. That's the sheriff. And now I'm going to show you how to get to the next area. A lot of people, when they start this game, and again, we're an hour and 53 minutes into the game. It takes about an hour and 30 minutes to 2 hours to get to this point of the game. And now we've already spent an hour and 50 minutes in it. So now they're 4 hours into the game. They're impatient. There's a lot of stuff to do on the map. Well, it's a lot easier if we could travel fast, right? So you see this little icon down here. And this is the miller. And then this up here is the blacksmith. Down here is Samin. Samin is where we're going to aim and go, because Samin has a horse. They have pebbles. We can convince them to give us pebbles, because that's our pebbles. That's why we want pebbles. Now we can also go up here to the Trotsky blacksmith, or we can spend more time in Troskovich. And again, there's a lot of places that you can go, but again, you are playing on hardcore, so there is no fast travel. So it's easier if you have a horse, correct? So you can either go north and you go straight to the blacksmith, you bust out some blacksmithing, or you go south and you're going to find, you're going to go to the miller, and when you hit the miller, then you're going to see, you're going to be able to train your theft, your thievery, and your sneak abilities. So it's 2 different quest lines to get to the wedding. You can do both. They are not mutually exclusive until you choose one to go in, and it didn't really matter for that. I chose the miller on my playthrough, and a lot of people like to use the blacksmith. Now, just for points of reference, again, we are traveling and we do not know where we are going. So we are roughly right here. I'm going to show you how to navigate using these roads. And again, we are playing on hardcore, so you will get lost unless you know what you are doing. I spent 5 hours on my first stream ever, running around, doing stuff, completely lost in the woods, punching wolves. Please, for the love that's all holy, and in his holy name, Henry, don't get lost. I am giving you tips, because if you're playing on hardcore and you get lost, it will frustrate you. When you get frustrated, you want to enjoy the game. You're doing this because you don't want to go to work tomorrow, or you're doing something, or you're ignoring some homework. Just remember, you're playing this for fun. Don't get lost. I like hardcore games, so now I'm going to show you how to actually navigate outside of the area, so you know how to actually navigate where you're at. Stick to landmarks and kind of stick to the roads. But again, if you get jumped, you will get hurt. And when you get hurt, you have to sleep or you have to drink a health potion. So just keep that in mind. The first thing we're going to do, we would save the game. Let's move to a save game, but I don't want to oversave my place. You could save the game, and it consumes a Saviour snaps. I am very hesitant to do this because I do not want it to overwrite my current game that I'm in. So we are going to save the game, and hopefully it does not overwrite my other game that I have 83 hours in. Okay, so just keep that in mind. So now, we are going to be moving outside of Troskovich. We are a little bit tipsy, and we're going to be moving to the south. And the reason why we're going to the south is because we're going to get Pebbles first. Now, this might take some time. In my first playthrough, I killed a couple of cows. They got really mad at me. So just remember that you just don't want to do that. Now, the reason why we're going down to Samine, again, we want Pebbles. Pebbles is really good, especially early on. You're going to see guys randomly walking around. This is a messenger. He could also tell you where we're at. He's suspicious of us.
Could you tell me where we are?
Oh, he walked away too far. And you only get one chance to ask someone where you are. I'm going to show you shrines. If you have a certain amount of scholarship skill, right here, where is it? Scholarship. And I think it's, yeah, right here. Fundamentals of Theology. And if you have scholarship 14, you can get a saving throw and you will survive a fatal blow. 1 fatal blow. Now, this is a messenger.
What happened to you?
I'm in big trouble.
How so?
I lost a letter. A very important letter.
This is just some random thing here. You may actually...
I hope you find the letter.
This is a random event. You can use it anytime you want. You can beat him up.
Sorry to hear
He
that.
wants you to beat him up.
I have an idea. Punch me in the face.
What?
Smack.
So if you do this, or you pass this speech check,
on then. Defend yourself. Or not.
If you pass the
It's up to
speech
you.
deck, you will
Ready?
get experience, but you can also, this is just quick little, this is basically a freebie. He wants to get punched in the face. So I just performed a throw. Now I'm just going to punch him in the face. And this is our first taste of combat. You see how it went gray? But this is a freebie, and we just increased our agility. He's unconscious, he's on the ground, he'll get up, and then he'll say, thanks for punching me in the face.
All right.
Oh,
Oh, that was rough. Do you think that's enough?
Oh, I definitely. I'm sore all over. Oh, my mouth.
Glad to be of help.
okay, so that was our first taste of combat, and it gave us a perk point. So we go over here, we're going to use our perk point as soon as possible, and the first thing we're going to use it on is Daft Hands. Daft Hands allows us to use weapons earlier because it reduces the level requirement of the item that we're using, as well as it just makes it easier to do things. So now we have Daft Hands, and again we're going to check all of our stats. Our energy is actually kind of high, our nourishment is okay, and now we're going to keep on moving. I'm going to introduce you to another concept when you're actually traveling, and that's the random events. That was a random event out there, and here's another one right here. So this is a random guy. He is friendly. We can talk to him, and we're going to greet him.
God be with you, noble sir. A free man again? What happened to you? Aye.
And I think this guy wants to duel us. I can't
You were held
remember.
cap- What was
hard, but what it's all those bacon shop.
So this is asking
Sigurd,
just
what a-
lore.
My sentiments exactly, sir.
Why, young man, I tell you though,
How so?
because I was.
I just...
That's what, especially Wenceslas.
Sigismund's...
We can challenge him to a duel. And again, he's a lot better than we are because he's a knight. But we might actually be able to beat him. Nope. No, we can't. And that ends the duel.
It's a good fight, but you have been bested. You fought honorably, but you lost. Next time, be more careful who you challenge. You hear?
And again, remember, we are not overpowered. We are just a random guy trying to get somewhere. So do not fight people whenever possible, because as you can see, that guy was scripted. He could have killed us, and it would have been horrible. So we're going to use a marigold decoction right here. That'll heal us for 40. And then also we can use our hotkeys to drink one as well. Now we're healing ourselves. This is a camp, just a random camp on the road. You could sleep on the random camps, but it might be an owned bed. I don't know if any of these are owned. They might be owned. If they're owned, they will be mad at you for sleeping in them. Also, when you sleep, you're going to be able to heal yourself a little bit. And we're going to try to sleep through the night, because if we sleep through the night, then we don't have to travel at night. Do not travel at night until you know how to navigate. Again, this is a live walkthrough, so if you have questions, please ask me questions. I'll be happy to go through this. I'm now going to show you that we now have a very good point to do something. And these guys are sleeping, so we are going to try to rob them. We're going to knock them out. And the reason why we're doing this is because we are going to take their gear. We're going to knock this guy out.
This is your end, you wretch.
And now we have to fight this guy over here.
Christ almighty.
And we killed him. So this guy's unconscious. We're going to rob him. We're going to take all his gear that we can, because he has good gear. And unfortunately, we had to kill this guy. Oh, he had a crossbow. Even better. So this guy had good stuff too. And now we just got our first windfall. And this is how we upgrade our stuff fairly quickly. I'm going to put this away. I'm going to eat this. And again, we are just outside of Troskovich. And now we have almost a full plate of armor already. And now we have a medium lockpick here. It's a little too hard. We're still going to try it because we are... It's too hard. It doesn't give us the actual icon. But we actually have the key. So now we can get into it because we have the key, because we took it from him. I'm going to take some bandages, this stuff, and that. And then I think that's it. Now let me show you how to make different setups, because now we have enough stuff to actually make a different setup. We have this setup that we're in right now, and then we're going to have a new setup, and the new setup is going to be our combat setup. All right, and let me get it all going for you. So the first thing we're going to start with is we're going to start with the belt, the pouch, because now we have the base that we can actually build on and we can attach things to. We're going to put a gambeson on. And then we're going to put on some armor that we took from that guy. And again, he can wake up, so we want to be careful to move out as quickly as possible. We're going to put on all of this armor because we just got our first windfall. We're going to put this on because it's better than that one. We have spurs. Spurs add to your charisma. You have to put on shoes first, so we got to put some shoes on. Our shoes are all beat up, so we'll take this guy's shoes, and then we'll put the spurs on, and then we'll put on the legs. And then we'll go to the top and we'll start equipping weapons. Equip the hunting sword, and we're going to equip the crossbow, and we have to hit down because it's originally it's going to be in the first slot. We're going to put it in the second slot. And now comes the hard part. People always forget to add the bolts. You have to add the ammo to this, and it's in the slot right next to the crossbow right there. So you have to add that right there. So now that the crossbow's in, the bolts are in, we're going to add the dagger, we're going to add the torch, and that's our basics right there. Now we're going to go through and we're going to finish customizing him. We're going to add a collar, and it's going to go right here. We're going to add a bassinet, and we can't put it on yet because we actually have to have something else on. Hold on, what is it? We have to put this on, and then we're going to put the bassinet on. So we have the helmet, and then you have to have a coil on top, a coif, and then you can put a hood on. So we're going to put the hood on. This one's actually better. And again, you want to compare these as you're going along, but I'm just doing it so you can actually see what it looks like. We do not have a coat. You see right here, there's a body chainmail, and then there's a coat, and then this is the gambeson or the tunic. So there's these four right here all go on your chest. These two go on your arms. These two go on your legs. This goes on your feet, just so you see how it runs down. And now you have to remember to equip your health potion right there. And now you have a full setup. Let's see if he had any jewelry. I don't think he did. Now I hit the button again, which is O on PC. And it switches again. And then this is a basic one. You did not lose your progress. You move it to the next one. So this right here is our original one that we were in. And this is now our stolen gear. And again, remember, this is stolen, so they will take it from us if we get caught doing anything bad. But we have a huge upgrade to our armor, and we're going to be less likely to die. So this is a windfall. We want this, and unfortunately we had to steal it from the knight. And then you can also equip a shield if you'd like, and that would go on the sword. But personally, I don't like to play with a shield because I feel like it's a little too slow and it doesn't it's not as responsive. So now we are going to move on, because we just got this, and we can actually put our visor down by holding down Z, and you get more protection, but you see less. We're going to leave the visor open. Where's this guy's sword? I think I got it. I don't know. So not only are we need to eat still, but now we have a better sword. I think, yeah, I don't know where his sword went. But I want it. We're going to eat a little more. You hear us clanking a little bit because we're heavier. And then we'll eat again. And it will take, again, it takes a while for the items of value to lose the stolen status. You can only eat so much before it's depleted, but it does take a while for items of value to lose its stolen status. And I'm not exactly sure how much or how long it will take, but it depends on the value. So we're going to eat this stuff over here, and then we're going to keep on going to Samine. Now, because we also have a lot of things set up and we had a windfall, we would do a save at this point. And again, you have to take your Saviour stops and you hit save. And hopefully this does not overwrite my 80-hour game. But we will keep on running now in this direction until we get to Samine. But that right there was a huge buff to you. You're now roughly about 3 or 4 hours into the game. You have a full set of armor, and you got to just make sure that you're not a dick and you get this taken by the guards at this point, because this is all stolen gear. So it'll take a while for the stolen icon to go away, but once it goes away, it's gone and you don't have to worry about it. You can also take some time and upgrade another build. I recommend having a charisma build, one that you sell stuff, you impress people with, a combat build, and a stealth build. I'm not going to make all of those right now. I'm just going to stick to the combat build right now, which is the one that we just made. So moving on. We're continuing to move in this direction. Again, we do not know where we are because the icon is not here. I know behind me was a camp. I know I'm at a crossroads, and I know that there's something in that direction with a fence. I hit this button. This looks like a fence. This looks like a camp, and this looks like a crossroads. I'm roughly right here. I know I have to go in this direction, following the crossroads to get to Samine, and I need to follow the road going this direction. So we're just going to keep running. All right, so again, this is a live tutorial, so if you have questions on how to get set up in the first couple of things that you got to do inside of Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, feel free to leave a comment and I'll be happy to show you. But earlier we did cover Alchemy, we did cover a couple of things like repairs, and then we covered the trade system as well as some survival. You see in the distance, that is Samine in the distance. We are running to the southwest of Troskovich, and then that's Trotsky Castle over there. And again, we're going in this direction here, and we're heavy because we're wearing armor, so you just got to be careful not to totally run out of stamina. There's going to be quite a bit of things that'll happen along the way, hopefully, but This is the hard part, but we got to get down to go get Pebbles. Once you get Pebbles, then you have a horse, you can travel faster. But again, there's no fast travel in hardcore. All right. And then if you are interested in any of the regular gameplay, I do have on this channel, I do also do my regular hardcore playthrough with some mission walkthroughs as I go along. And I'm going to be playing later on, but I will be ending this stream after we get to the blacksmith. But first we're going to get Pebbles, and then we're going to go down to the miller's so you can see where the miller's at, and then we're going to turn around and we're going to go to the blacksmith, and I'll do a tutorial on blacksmithing, and then we'll just end it there. So we have about another hour left, but I wanted to keep this tutorial to under 3 hours, just so you have a general idea. I'm going to timestamp it, as well as put all of the like some of the recipes in there for you as well. I just want to check this real quick. Load game, hardcore. Good. Just making sure my real playthrough wasn't destroyed here. All right, so there's this guy sitting over here. We don't know what he wants. This guy is scripted, I think.
I hope you're not following.
He's just another mercenary.
Searching for treasure.
I was being serious.
What do you mean? I've got this here treasure map, and I'm looking for gold.
Oh, don't be shy. Let me see it.
And why
So you'll
would
see
I
a lot
do
of
that?
random events out here.
Pinch it?
I just wanted to help you.
I'm not
We're
sharing my
using
treasure
a
with anyone.
speech, and we just failed the speech. We can ask him to sell us the map.
Sell me the map, and half of everything I find is yours.
Do you take me for a fool? Stop bothering.
Now, though, we can do the dishonorable thing.
This way, perhaps?
And I'm going to show you this real quick. But there's bolts in this tree, so you can get better bolts if you wanted. There's also an apple. And then I think there's a... You gotta load it. On PC, you load it by pulling back the right mouse. And then you're just going to walk around, and hopefully he turns around, but he doesn't. We're going to crouch because it stabilizes us a little bit, and then we're going to shoot him in the face.
All right, then. Have it your way, you bastard.
Again, it's going gray. But if you played the regular game, you would notice we don't have the assistants telling us where the
You won't be able to take another one like that.
where our stuff is. So I just wanted to show you that combat again is very hard, and you do not know where your weapon is. So you have to learn how your hand positions to know exactly where that is. So we'll just keep running again. And that's the consequence you're going to run into if you start getting in combat early on. We're not going to get into combat. We're just going to try to run for it. But hopefully you guys enjoy this tutorial. Please like and subscribe. And at the same time, if this is valuable for you, please use it. And I do have other content on my channel. So now we got to keep running down there again. And again, we are in armor, so we run a little bit slower. You can see our speed is actually impacted. We're at 20, we're at 18. Where if we're wearing nothing, we're at 23. And if we're wearing this, we're at that. So we're actually not going to wear anything, and we're just going to run straight down and see if we can get there and not get into any combat. We're actually going to skip that dialogue with him because it's actually not that important. But we're going to go get Pebbles. and we get pebbles, then we have faster travel. People get frustrated a lot in this game, and just don't get frustrated. Just enjoy the game. There's a lot in this game. I'm speed running it just for everyone's enjoyment on how to get things started. And again, there's a lot of debuffs if you're playing on hardcore, but the hardest thing right off the bat is knowing where you are. And that's why I'm going to show you again right here when we get to this tree. Oh, there's a guy just sitting there now. Is that a different random event? There's a convoy. They're heavily armored. Do not try to jump them.
You there! Please help me!
Here's a guy. He's robbed. What's going on?
I beg you, untie me!
So this was hard for me to figure out, but you have to go behind them to untie them and then hit E.
Thanks for untying. Help
We're going to
me.
talk to him.
I've been robbed. They took everything.
What happened? We're going to try to heal him because our survival's a little higher. Again, we're not wearing anything because we just ran down here.
You're a sawbones?
No, but I've patched up a few people.
I see. Well, all right then.
We're trying to heal him.
Do what you can.
Didn't even hurt, did it?
Well, it almost didn't hurt.
Tell me more about this robbery.
I was ambushed by a band of thugs. 4 men. They beat the shit out of me, took what they could carry, and left me in nothing but...
Well, be thankful.
So we're just going to progress this.
I'll help you.
God, if you have boots and hose would...
We're going to give him something to
I'll find
wear.
something.
Going to give him this and this.
Thanks a lot. At least then...
I don't have any shoes to
I'll
give you,
some
dude.
money. Here you are.
Alright, and that's
all I
it.
can spare.
Thank you so much.
And then
God be
because
with
we
you.
gave him that stuff, he'll walk off, and then that's that. But we're just going to keep going. One of the things about that, a lot of people, when they start playing, they don't want to give that stuff to people, but they will find you later and they will double it or triple it. There's items of value over here. I just want to show you, and then we're going to go grab pebbles. There's items all around here that you can use. These are fish traps. You can open them, and there's fish in them, as well as shoes.
Would you look at this? Somebody's boots floated away.
And again, remember that I told you that this playthrough, the shoes get beat up. So we're going to use the really nice shoes, and then we're going to attach the spurs to them. So now our shoes are not broken. Then way over here, again, we're wearing the armor. There's a little hut over here with a bunch of items of value. How much inventory space do we have? Barely have any inventory space, but we're going to go get pebbles. So this little hut here, you don't want to kill this guy, and that dog is friendly, by the way. There's a guy over here. We're going to wash ourselves first because we're covered in blood. We're going to open this. He's not there. This is a private area. We're going to lockpick this. Again, our lockpicking skill is very low.
Shit.
And that's a failed. But let's use the tip that I said. Just make it gold and then draw a circle. And you want to make it in one smooth motion if you can. like that. Ugh, just barely missed it. And that's if you overthink it. And then this is how you just do it.
Shit.
You just want to grind out these easy and these not so easy locks. And then he also has in here, if I remember correctly, that's it. But we're just going to move on. So we just took all that good stuff. We're trying to move over. And we're out of range. So we're going to take a look at what we got. We got these recipes. You want to learn recipes as soon as possible, because if they search you, and they cannot take your knowledge from you, but they can take your recipe from you. So again, we're using the recipe as soon as possible, and then we're going to move on. And we just perked up. So let's take a look at our perk points again, because we just read those recipes. We go to scholarship, and now you have your first 3 options on how to learn stuff faster. You could do Wonders of Beasts, so you bond with your horse and your hound faster. You could do Wonders of Man, so you learn craftsmanship and thievery faster. Or you can do Wonders of Nature, which allows you to learn survival in alchemy faster. Each of these are 20% faster to everything. I am going to do Wonders of Man. Again, you can use all of them, so don't worry about that. But this is just a playthrough for a tutorial. We are not going in the front of Samine, because the front of Samine will trigger a quest. We are going to the back of Samine. You see here, we have a random event. These guys are not scripted to be here, but this is just random people here.
God be with you.
And we just discovered the outside of Samine. So this guy wanted to talk to us. We're not going to rob him, but we're going to talk to him.
Are you a blacksmith?
And you, be my...
Lads,
Oh,
Again, we're wearing armor, so people think that we're a knight,
I could do with a bit.
and we're just moving forward faster. And we can bet him. We're going to bet him, and we are going to fist fight him. And we are wearing all of our armor, so we're going to be able to do a little bit better combat. But again, we don't have any experience, and everything's gray right now, so we have to manage our stamina. So don't get too aggressive. So let your stamina come back.
Useless.
And he won.
I told you.
So we just lost. And that's what happens when you lose. But again, we just upped our a little of our skill levels, so that's not bad. So that's cool. All right, I'm doing a little healing right now. I guess we were hungry too, so we had a debuff because we were hungry, so we didn't hit as hard. Remember that. We can't sell to any of these guys. So we're not going in the front. That is the front of Samine right there. We are located right here. We are going around the back, and we're going to talk to the guy right back here who has pebbles. So we're going to go around the water. Henry doesn't like water.
I tried swimming once. And how did that end up?
And again, on your playthrough, you might spend a lot of time in the beginning area like I did, because I like to naturally find things. but I am just showing some quick tips. So we're over here at the pond. This is a laundry spot. Here's some soap. We are going to wash all of our gear. So we're going to pick up the soap. And we're going to wash everything that we have on right now.
Me in deep water again. My shoulder still hurts from the last time.
And on the right hand side it says launder, close, hold E. And then I'm just going to select all. And we're going to wash everything that we have on our person. Not attached, but on our person. So now everything is washed. We look better. We smell better. There's no blood on us. Our speech is slightly higher. And now we are going to... everything that we are wearing is still tagged as stolen. So we got to be careful not to do anything bad. But now we're going to go and try to talk to Pebble, to the guy who has Pebbles. So you see over here, that's Pebbles right there.
Wait, that's my Pebbles, my girl. I thought they killed you down by that pond.
So you kind of talk to the guy right here.
Greetings. What brings you here so early in the morning?
And you say, Pebbles!
The grey horse you have grazing here is mine.
What do you mean yours? I bought it fair and square. I admit, it was only for a few groschen from some suspicious lad who found it down by the Rock Tower Pond, but that horse is not branded, so it belongs to me now.
Okay. So you can say whatever you want to him. I'm going to say I rode her in.
She's my horse. I rode in on her from Ratai, in the retinue that was attacked down by the pond.
Right. You happen to need a new horse, and this one just happens to be the one you already own. Does it have your brand? It does not. So you are out of luck.
Now we're just going to say be reasonable.
Look, you know they attacked an entourage by that pond, right?
I heard about it. That news spread through the land like wildfire.
And the one who sold it to you told you he found it by the pond, right?
Well, he did, aye.
So it's not entirely impossible she belonged to me.
Maybe not impossible, but I paid for her.
Aye, but just a few groschen. You said so yourself. Wouldn't you rather be in the...
Oh, and we succeeded. And this is how you get a free horse. You have to talk him up a little bit, and then that's it.
All right, I'll give her to you. But you owe me one.
All
Go
right.
and get her then. If she remembers you, she might even come when you whistle for her.
I'm going to show you how to do that.
May she serve you well.
Okay, now we have Pebbles. This is the biggest thing this is a huge lifestyle upgrade, and it took me like 12 hours to get Pebbles. So just don't recommend it. You can inspect Pebbles. She's not very good right now. She does have 150 carrying capacity. She's much faster than we are. You can mount up if you want. I'm going to show you that you can now put things on the horse. So if you hit whatever you have that you want to put on the horse, you highlight it, and now you have 3 options instead of 2. You're going to have an option to move it to the horse. You have an option to hold that option and it drops it, or you can attach it to your belt. We're going to move it to the horse. You hit move to horse and it moves to horse. Now this is a great way to start getting your inventory management going, but I did want to point that out to you because that's a huge lifestyle upgrade. So now we have Pebbles. Now we're going to take us to the miller so you can meet the miller, so you know where that is. I'm just putting the heavy stuff on Pebbles right now. Now, where did it go, Victor? Okay, you go over here to this icon right here that says horse, and it's on the far right hand side of the inventory slots. You hit horse and it flips over to Pebbles now. When you have Mutt will show up here as well, but now all this items are on Pebbles, and you see right here there's this little shield icon that's gray. That means it's attached to Pebbles. So there is a saddle that increases the carrying capacity of pebbles, and then there's also a bridle, and the bridle helps with the bridle helps with handling as well as a little bit of defense, but not very much. So the handling helps a lot. So now we have pebbles, we mount pebbles. Now we're on pebbles. It gives you a tutorial what to do with pebbles. I just showed you what to do with pebbles. If you want to get off pebbles, you dismount, you hit X. To get back on pebbles, you hit E. And again, this is on PC. So now we're going to be moving. We are in Samine. We are not going to trigger the quest. We do not want to trigger the quest. If you walk that direction, you will trigger the quest. Do not trigger the quest yet. Now we're just going to be moving, and you can start working in that direction if you want. Also, up here, up there, there's other items that you can grab quickly, and you can sell them later. But I am not going to do that because we are going to run straight down to the miller, so you can see where the miller is, and then we'll turn around and we're going to go to the craftsman. So we can hop that, and now we're riding down here, and the guy that we just bought pebbles from can also clean the horse, and that's the only way to clean the horse that I know of. So we're just kind of going down in this direction, and I'm trying not to trigger anything. Let me show you where we're at. So we picked up pebbles right back here at the horse guy. We're down here along this road. There's another guy right here where you can buy horse gear, but we're not going to hit him. Actually, we'll trigger him real quick so you can see where he's at. He's right here. This is the saddler. You can talk to him if you want. And he's right here. This is where you get horse gear as well. Now we're going to mount up, and we're going to keep going down here. And again, I'm going to show you what I talked about earlier, but we just found a shrine, and we're at this point. Where are we, Victor? The compass doesn't tell us where we are at. We have the saddler here, and we have the shrine here. Now I know the shrine is right there. Here, let's get off pebbles real quick so I can show this. We know the shrine is right there, and we know the saddler is right there. We know in this direction is left, this direction is right. If I look this direction, if I was standing right here, this is left, this is right. That means I am looking in this direction. So if I move this direction, and the shrine is in front of me now, and the saddler is behind me, that means I'm looking in this direction. So that's the easiest way to start figuring out where you're at. So I take 2 points, 2 landmarks, I figure out which ones want which, I make them distinctive, and now I can figure out my cardinal directions. Because again, the cardinal directions are not in the actual hardcore playthrough, but now you can use them just by looking at 2 known points. So we have this known point here, and we have a known point there, as well as the road, which we didn't even need to know what it was, because we at least know the 2 main points. As long as you know 2 main points, you know where you're at all times. Now we're going to be moving down to the miller, which is down this road here, just so I can show you where it's at. Now, Pebbles is going to be a lot faster. It's going to take us a long time to get used to it, because again, your horsemanship is really low, and we're going to be moving down this way. You see there's a dude in armor down there. He has a lot of armor. So we are actually going to try to sneak up on him and kill him. We have our dagger, but we make a lot of noise, remember? So now we're crouching. And we're going to hit stealth kill, which is F. We have to hold it down, and then you hit as quickly as possible. But he got out of it.
You won't get me.
He's unarmed, but he's still good. He's trained. We're gonna heal just in case. He should be bleeding, but I don't see him bleeding yet. We're bleeding though. We've taken an injury. Again, we're not very good, and we're basically using a really shitty sword to attack him, and he's wearing gear. I'm surprised he hasn't pulled out his weapon yet, personally. And again, we don't know any combos yet, or anything. So we're healing again.
No chance.
So we just keep on effing him up, but his gear's holding him pretty good right now. I'm dodging. He's dodging a lot. Now he has his weapon out. Alright, and he's dead. Okay. Where did his weapon go? We're gonna steal it. There's Pebbles over there. And then I'm gonna take all of his gear. The reason why I'm taking all of his gear is because the miller, you could sell everything to the miller. I put the weapon away. I'm probably covered in blood. My health is really low. But now we have another little windfall. So we will mount up. And we're going to keep on going to the miller. So that was just a random NPC that we decided to kill. And then also, if you leave him on the road, other NPCs will come by. They will loot him, and they will sometimes alert the guards, just telling him that there's a body out there, but not always. Okay, now I'm going to show you down here. This is the miller. We're coming down here now. Again, we haven't upgraded Pebbles that much, so she's just really shitty.
Greetings, good man. Will you come over here for a moment?
There's some random guy here. He's a drunk. We're just going to ignore him. I'm waiting for that lady to finish laundry so I can wash everything. Because if it's covered in blood, it's not worth as much. Remember that. That's a life lesson. So, that's Ketzel's wife. We're not going to kill her, obviously, because she's the miller's wife. We're going to try to wash our clothes. We're going to select all. And then we're going to wash them. I'm going to show you those armor kits that we had earlier, remember? Let's see if there's anything that's better armor. This is better armor. We're going to put that on. Because we just took all that guy's armor, remember? This is better armor. And then I think we need a new padded collar. Oh, here we go. That's better. And then we still haven't found a coat yet. Oh, there's a coat. Perfect. And then that's not better. And then weapons. We're actually going to equip that on the other one. I'll put the Warhammer on that guy. Okay, so now that we just washed everything, I'm going to show you the armor kits. You go to other. We bought this armor kit earlier, remember? We're going to use it on the armor that we are wearing first. Always on the armor that you're wearing first. And then on the other stuff. You notice that there's a number at the top. That number is how much of the unit that you are repairing. Each armor kit is only worth 100 units of repair. And then based on its price and how much is left of the armor that needs to be fixed, it will tell you how much it is. I always recommend at least repairing your chest pieces first, and then it will, if it's too much or there's not enough, it will just kind of even it out at that point. So now that we've repaired some stuff, it should give us a little more options here. So let's take a look. And not everything is broken, but there's still quite a bit of armor that is broken on us. We're moving down here, and that is the miller right there. He's going to progress our little mission, and this is how you get to the miller. So we can talk to him. He would start giving us a job. He's just going to talk a lot of nonsense.
You'll be
We're going to say, hey, we're going to carry some sacks for you. I'm actually decent at using the sword, but I can read and write.
Do you really have nothing?
We fail. And then he wants us to carry the sacks.
Fuck me.
Take care.
Okay, he wants us to use the sacks.
What's the purpose of... What's in it? I said so. And can I... Why not?
Okay, you can't sell him anything yet because
Where should I... Well, go up.
you haven't earned him yet, but you can now challenge people for melee at the mill. We are down here in the miller, and you can go out here and you can do fist fights at the mill, but we are going to move on and carry the sacks. We have to carry the sacks a couple of times, and then once we carry the sacks, a cutscene will happen, and then we'll be able to figure out what's next, and then we can move on. So right here, let's pick this up. Again, you just saw a little icon on there that says, hey, your shoes are broken because we've worn through our shoes. So we're going to put the sack down. We got to do this like 6 or 7 times, and then he'll trigger the next set of the quest.
Good pig.
So you go back here, you pick up these sacks. And the first time I played, I didn't know I had to put them in the cart. So I took the sacks and I put them inside the building here on accident. And it took me forever to figure it out. But you're going to put the sacks in here. You will gain strength experience as you do this, just so you know. We'll see if there's anything we need to dry while we're here. We'll dry this trout. And again, this is just a live walkthrough and tutorial of how to get started on your hardcore mission. And I'm introducing you to the miller at the current moment, and then we're going to go back and we're going to introduce you to the blacksmith. We've already picked up pebbles, we made a bit of money, and I've showed you some exploits and also being able to figure out where you're at. They're not full exploits, but at least some helpful tips that you can have when you play your game. Make sure that as you're playing your game, you have a lot of fun and you do it the way that you like it, because you're going to be spending a lot of time doing this. I'm about 110 hours into the game so far, and I'm really enjoying it. And I'm 83 hours in a hardcore playthrough. And the hardcore playthrough is just so much better, and I find it so much more immersive, and that's the reason why I really enjoyed the hardcore. Because it is just so much more immersive. I know we're kind of just running through it right now, but it's just so you have an idea of what's out there, and then you can be more educated if you're going to be buying it, or if you're going to be putting some time in moving from a regular playthrough to a hardcore playthrough. And then we trigger the cutscene. Spoilers, by the way.
Have you got it done?
Now we have a little speech
I
deck.
said, are you done?
You're milling some pretty peculiar grain here, Miller. It's got a bit of a metallic flavour to it.
Kurva. Can't you be more careful?
Tell me the truth. What are you really doing here?
You think you're ready?
Okay, we're gonna move through this.
Yes.
I'm a...
Because again, spoilers.
You see.
Make sure you read it.
So
Fever.
but
I'll help. That's the in trust, and it's called you.
Alright, and then he gives us a quest.
Where we? I doubt that.
I can't. He had the dark. I'm pretty. Just remember, and it would be.
Not any of.
Oh, black is just. It's my gift.
Pick them up.
Doesn't it? Isn't it? She's
I'd like to.
Fever, but all right. He'll tell you. And
All right.
Okay, and then he is one of our first trainers you can use. So I'm going to show you a trainer here. So we're going to ask him for some advice.
well, I was, but still.
That's all.
But we're not going to do all that. We're actually just going to trade with him, and then we're going to move to the next area. Actually, let's take all this stuff off Pebbles first. So we have inventory on Pebbles that we need to sell. So we take it off Pebbles, and then we put it over here, and then we can sell it. And if you're just joining us, we are working through a tutorial. This is a live tutorial on how to play Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 on hardcore. So if you have any questions, you can drop them in the comment, and I'll be happy to answer them. I'm going to put this cap on this one because it's a slightly better one, and we're going to keep that one started for our charisma build. Now I'm going to go over here and I'm going to sell all this stuff to the miller, and you can see that we are over encumbered, and he's down here. He just shut the door on us. We got to open it, and now we can talk to him again and sell everything.
I'll have a look at the web.
But he just gave us a quest, and I was trying not to spoil it. This says here, you're trying to sell something that's equipped to one of your outfits. Do you want to confirm this? I'm going to confirm and move forward with that. Then I'm going to sell this. Now he is a fence, so he will buy anything at a discount though. He will buy anything that is stolen. So we are going to just sell him everything that we have right now. Basically everything that we can sell him, we are. Yeah, let me see here. Anything else? And then we will move on to the Grassman, who is the other one that we have out there. Where's those go? Okay, we already got that on. We're just gonna sell everything so we don't weigh anything. And then this is how you make some money. I do not recommend selling the blacksmithing material because the blacksmithing material is important. And then we're going to haggle him, but let's see if he has any better gear or lockpicks. He has stuff in here. He has a skill book. I'll show you the skill book and the lockpicks. And then we'll haggle.
I'd like to discuss the price.
But of course.
And again, we want to give him a little bit more so he likes us more.
Something for your trouble.
My.
So let me show you our reputation. Our reputation's been going up quite a bit because we're paying people more. Remember when we started, this was dark red. Now it's kind of an orange. And now I'm going to show you where you sleep when you get to the miller. Now you can go down there, and there's these little mini missions you can do and activities with fist fighting and training, lockpicking and pickpocketing. But we're not going to do any of that because we're actually just going to move on after I show you where you sleep and save. So you go up here, and this is the main building. Again, let me show you on the map, but we're down here. And again, as soon as we have a waypoint, we know where we're at. So we're over here and we can triangulate where we're at. But here's our bed. This icon says it's our bed, and that means if we sleep in it, we can also save. A lot of the locks in here you can unlock and relock because this is a training area also for thievery. So you can get away with a lot of stealing in this area. So you go up here. Again, I'm sorry for not having my torch out, but always have your torch out if you are streaming. And this is your chest. This is one of the 2 first chests you're going to get. The other ones are at a couple of inns in the area. But you can put anything that you want in the chest, and it is completely safe. Now again, this is the first time we got to this chest, and I have the gold edition. So because I have the gold edition, they have all this gear in here that they give me because I had that. I bought it, and it was just an upgrade pack that they give you. This is pretty good gear. I would take it and I would use it. I recommend that you use it too. But you don't have to use this if it's not here. But just so you know, this is just going to be slightly better than the stuff that we already have. So don't worry about it if you missed out on it, but I just wanted to tell you where it is. Also, it's a little confusing. There's found, that's everything that's in the chest. And then you have what you have here, which is a player. And this is everything that's on you. So you have to select what you want, and then you transfer it in. And then it's over here, and it's on the found side. So people mix it up a lot, and you can hit the individual types if you want, but you just go player or you go found. Many times I have taken everything out of my chest on accident, and I thought I was putting it onto my person. And then I get like halfway down the road, and I'm like, why am I so slow? And that happens. So I just wanted to show you what it is, and that's your personal chest. This is anywhere where there is a wreath above the icon of the inn. Let me show you where that's at. So you see that inn back in Troskovich, way back here. This little tavern here. If that tavern mug had a wreath around it, that means it has a chest. This one does not have a chest, and there's no wreath. So I just wanted to point that out to you. You go here, this is your bed. You may sleep in it, and you will save. I'll show you a save and sleep. And we're going to do a save and sleep. And now we've saved the game. I'm going to go down the ladder. You do not want to jump off because you will break your legs and your feet. Let's move this up a little bit. So go down here. Again, we have the cushion perk option. So as long as we're sitting, we actually read better. So I wanted to read this book and show you how to study. You open it up. On the right hand side, there's an icon that says study or close the book. We're going to study. You select the amount of time that you're going to study, and you want to get it to 100%, and then you're going to advance time. I recommend doing this at night if you can, because then you get closer to when it gets dark. And we just upgraded our thievery, and we got a new perk point because this was a thievery book, and it taught us thievery. So I just wanted to point that out of what it is. You have to hit get up, which is, you know, go back, or you move to the side, and now you can move on. So we go back outside. There's the miller again if you want to do anything, but you can do a lot of activities in here. We're going to go out. Pebbles is over there. How do we get Pebbles to come to us, Victor? I hit X, and I whistle, and Pebbles will show up. If Pebbles nowhere, Pebbles will come out of nowhere if you whistle. If you can't see her anywhere, she's a magical horse, and she'll just show up. So now we're going to go back, and I'm going to move you now to the blacksmith, and we are down here. You'll see some icons up here. There's a couple of missions along this pond area, and then this right here is just a spot where you start the mutt quest, which again is going to take you about 4, maybe 6 hours. And then right here, this is where the herbalist that you meet that saves your life is at, right there. And then there's a couple of other items of value, but I'm not going to point them out yet. And then up here is another little inn. It does have a chest. And this is a decent spot to sell, and they give out little quests and such over here. But there's a lot of quests and content in this game. And in the starting area, this is considered like the first act. Before the first act, I had like 45 or 50 hours in the game before I even finished the first act. So don't worry about taking your time. There's a lot in here, so just don't worry about it. We're going to be moving now from down here at the Miller. We're going to go up the road. We're going to pass through Samine again, and we're going to go past Samine. And then we are going to go up towards Troskovich. And then we're going to go up to the craftsman up here, the blacksmith. So I just want to tell you where we're going because it's going to take us a bit, but it's still a lot faster than walking. We're going to take it slow up here because we haven't fully bonded with Pebbles yet, and Pebbles hasn't been upgraded. But we're going to kind of move in a WASD fashion and move that direction.
Whoa, whoa.
You see right here, there's a gentleman. We're going to try to do Grand Theft Auto.
Hey, stop messing about with that weapon before you hurt someone.
And we'll just move on. Oh, he pulled us off. Again, you don't want to be a dick. Okay. So he, but he's not wearing any armor. We got him. But we were wearing armor. Ooh, he's got a knight's longsword. And then we're going to rob him and take his good stuff. Okay, we're going to check this. We can't wear that yet. But now we have items for charisma build if we want to get that direction. We can put this on. This is our first piece of jewelry. Jewelry increases our charisma. So we're going to put the jewelry on. And then unfortunately, the only way to get the saddle off of the horse is to kill the horse. And then you take the saddle. You do not have to butcher the horse, but you do have to steal it. And the reason why we are doing that is because unfortunately that is the only way to get it. And it's a much better saddle, and that's how you upgrade your saddle early, because saddles are extremely expensive. This Prague saddle that we have is 200, and we're just going to put that into our inventory, and the bridle and the horseshoes. So we go over here to horse. We have to equip the horseshoes. Horseshoes help. These ones don't really do much, but they do a little bit. There's some really good horseshoes out there. And then we move from 170 capacity to 190 capacity when we put that saddle on. And then we can move from 138 and 30 speed to 144 and 31 speed. So we're going to put the better bridle on. So now Pebbles just got a bit of an upgrade, but unfortunately we just had to totally massacre those people. But that's the fastest way to upgrade not only your gear by finding a mercenary with armor, and you have to find a way to kill him quickly, and you can also get a upgrade to Pebbles and such by finding someone riding a horse that has better gear than you. So now we're moving out of this and we're going to Samine. There's vendors and such in here, but I'm not going to use them. And this is the outside of Samine. Again, I'm going to show you where we're at on the map. And as you can see, you don't have an icon of where you're at. But I know I am right on the outside of Samine right here. And then I'm going to follow this road all the way back to Troskovich, and then we're going to go this direction up to Trotsky. But once you figure out navigation inside the game, when you're on hardcore, it gets a lot easier. And you get a slight upgrade. So, as I just showed you, by now, if you're playing the game from the beginning, you could have been between 5 and 15 hours to get to this point, but I'm trying to give you a bit of a speed run at this point. So we're at 3 hours and 6 minutes, and we've taken you all the way from naked and afraid to now you have transportation, now you have better armor, you have a place of employment, and now I'm showing you the second place of employment, and then we're going to call it good at that point. Alright, so now we got to go a little bit further. There's Troskovich on the outside. And if there's any questions, please feel free to put it in the chat, because this is a live tutorial also. I really appreciate you all hanging out with me. I do a little more fun content, but this is meant to be a tutorial. So I might be streaming. I'll be streaming tomorrow, and I am going to work on hour number 83 of my hardcore playthrough. So feel free to follow me, and I'll be happy to play with you tomorrow. So we're on the outside of Troskovich. Now, we are right here, roughly. We're at the big tree. So I'll just cut across. And I guess I can show you a point of interest on the way. I'm going to show you this point of interest just because it's super fun. But let me show you this. On the road out here,
quick,
you'll go a little bit past this. Again, we have Troskovich over here. But there's this little grassy knoll over here with this tree. And I'm pointing this out to you because if you're a person who likes the alchemy and stuff like me, as well as Easter eggs, there's an Easter egg right here. There's tons of Easter eggs out there. And on my first playthrough, I was using a map that showed you the Easter eggs. And this is a little Peter Rabbit hobbit hole right here. So that's kind of cute. I like that a lot. And it's underneath this tree. And this tree right here has a ton of very hard to find crafting material for the alchemy here. You can pick it all up. Just tons of really good alchemy material in here. And then also when you get to a point that you upgrade your survival skill to level 10, you will be this is a hot spot for your lucky find perk that you can unlock in this area. So once you hit level 10, you can then activate the lucky find perk, and you're going to be able to find a ton of jewelry over here, as well as just items of value. So I highly recommend, once you get that lucky find perk, to come over to here, and this is it's right here in this location outside of Trough, and it's the bench under Trough. And there's this little skill book right here, and it teaches you speech. But again, like I said, when you're here, it's a really good idea to actually take a little bit of time and pick all these flowers if you have that perk, because that's a hot spot for the lucky find also. So we're going to open up this book. We're going to see how much we need to read. Unfortunately, it'll be super late, so we're going to read it until late at night. And you can only read for so much in a day also, so just so you know. Let's see if we can study a little bit more. But it's night, and we don't like to travel at night. So we are going to first equip our torch, because if the guards catch you out with no torch on, they will during the night they will harass you. So let's do, I like to do memorable when you do an upgrade in the main level, because memorable, when you get it, your reputation spreads throughout the entire area each time that you do a reputation check. It spreads a little bit across the entire area, so you're going to gain reputation faster everywhere. And then on the strength, I usually recommend starting with the train hard, fight hard, and then getting the hard working lad or pack mule, because hard working lad makes it so you don't get tired when you're carrying somebody or like a sack, as well as you have more carrying capacity. And then pack mule does increase your carrying capacity. So I just wanted to show you those little upgrades that just naturally we've been able to get several upgrades just by doing a quick little run, so you have an idea. We're going to do the silent fiddler for thievery, because we make less noise when we actually we make less noise when we are picking locks. I'm going to show you now how to travel at night, but I really highly recommend not traveling at night. And as you see the little hobbit hole here, someone's in there in the little Peter Rabbit hole because the light's on. So that's kind of cute. So we're going to go over here. We're going to get on Pebbles. And again, okay, so here's what we got. We have to find some directions. But here's some things right here. We're going to take, can't take that. We could sleep in here if we wanted, but we're not going to. We're going to take the schnapps. So we have a couple of points of interest that we can use to triangulate where we're at night. So we have Trough Castle right there. We have this shack, and then we have the bench under Trough right there. So now, lining myself up between here and there, directly in the middle, and Trough Castle on the right hand side, I can determine our direction. Now I pull up and hold on. There is the bench under Trotsky, and here's that shack. I know that I am looking in this direction right here. Now, based off of that direction, how much do I have to change or deviate to hit there? Not that far, so I'm going to actually go slightly to just slightly past. I'm going to move from here to here in a straight line until I move up to this road area, and then I'll hit Trotsky. So that's the best way to navigate at night, is you find 2 points and you kind of move in a straight directional line. So we're going to move in this direction right here, and we're actually going to probably run through the woods, and I highly do not recommend running through the woods until you get to a point that you're pretty good at navigating, because you will get lost. But I appreciate you all hanging out with me tonight, because we're doing a walkthrough on hardcore. The first couple of hours, or the first couple of zones on hardcore, so you should be able to be better acquainted. Okay, so we just hit a little icon here that just popped up. This is a good little tip, but we passed this row hunting spot right here. So we move from here past here to here, so that means we're moving in this direction here. And again, we want to continue moving in this direction because it will take us all the way to Trotsky. So we're going to go in a straight line through Trotsky, and hopefully we do not hit a tree, because if we hit a tree, we'll fall off the horse and then everyone will laugh at us. And now we're going to move through the night. And then Trotsky should be... Whoa. We just hit another road. We hit... I think either we hit this road or this road. I don't know yet.
Whoa.
Hold on. We hit this road. So we're going to follow it up to here, and there should be a little path that goes to the left here. There it is. There's the path. Found it. And then we'll go around, because Trotsky's on the other side of this bush. And there's Trotsky. And that's how you get to Trotsky from the north side. But if you're coming from the south side, you're going to... Tekov. Sorry, not Trotsky. Tekov. I keep on calling it Trotsky. It's Tekov. Sorry. There is an inn up here. But unfortunately, there is no services because it's too late at night. We are going to wait until the morning. We should actually wait until about 8. And you can see that we're getting very hungry. And Henry will start talking to us that he needs to eat. So we're going to eat some honey, because honey is the best thing to eat because it fills us up faster. And it doesn't go bad. We're going to eat some dried apples. Again, we do not eat anything that is under a condition of 80. So we're going to drop these cheese curds and these bacons, as well as this salami. Now you can, when you have mutt will eat those. But we do not have mutt at the current moment. So I'm going to go down here, and this is our other option for employment right here, and this is the blacksmith.
I heard you could use a helping hand at the forge.
I could. My last 2 hands. Well, what do they call you?
Henry.
You should know.
Yeah?
And also, he will start a quest for you to go to Samine. But we just came from Samine.
Sure thing. Great. Hired.
You come.
Okay, so now we are Blacksmith's apprentice.
Have you taken what you need from the chest yet?
So we can go right here. We take all this stuff.
Then go over to the anvil
and then he will start teaching you how to forge. So we're going to just do that little tutorial. We'll do a hunting sword because that's what he wants us to do, and he'll talk us through it.
Give it a practice try. Some things, like swords, are too long to fit in the fire. You have to heat it up. Try poking it around for a bit.
So you got to move it back and forth.
Now get the furnace nice
and he'll talk you through it.
Give it a pull. Works better.
And then you got to move it back and forth. You could leave it in one area, but you risk overheating it. You want to get it kind of hot.
You won't be able to tell when it's in the fire. You have to take it out from time to time and take a
He's
look.
telling you to do that. I hardly ever do that.
See?
But you have to do it several times.
Now heat up the whole thing.
Alright.
The whole thing is heated up now.
Now we move it to the anvil.
Try moving the sword along the anvil so you can get the hang of it.
And we got to move it back and forth. This takes some getting used to. Axes are hard and horseshoes are the hardest. And if you're good, he starts whistling.
See the sparks? That's the sign of a good strike.
And you have to manage your stamina too.
Also, you can hammer with different degrees of power. A stronger hit will do more, but it'll tire you out faster. Try giving it a few blows, as hard as you can, so I can see how.
So I'm holding down the hammer and then I'm letting it go.
That's got a nice ring to it. Of course, if it was all about hitting an anvil with a hammer, any dolt could do it. You've got to hammer the workpiece evenly. One hit next to the other. Very nice. You're doing just fine. But when I say evenly, I mean it. A sword has two sides.
And Henry's breathing heavy right now.
Including myself. Turn it over and continue on the other
And then
side.
you have to flip it by hitting F in this.
Nice. Now try forging it on both sides. The closer it is to being finished, the more it will take on the shape you want. It'll cool off soon anyway.
And if you're doing really good, he'll whistle with you. So you want to kind of line them up every like hammer width, basically. And the lower you go on the base, the harder you have to hit it. And Henry's breathing hard. So this does increase your speed too. And it's almost cooled off. They cool off a lot faster, but this is the tutorial.
It's cooled now.
Alright, now I gotta put it back in the forge.
You've got to put it back in the furnace from time to time. Sometimes you've got to go there and back all day. But it's all part of the craft. Now,
Alright, hit the bellows again.
like before. The whole thing is heated up now, so come over to the anvil.
Okay.
Hear that? Besides the sparks, you can tell a good strike by the sound it makes.
It would have been done a long time ago if it wasn't the tutorial.
That's how you can tell it's almost finished. Now, I've got a piece of advice for you.
He's telling you to hammer to a rhythm.
When I hammer a piece to a beat, the work goes by easier. Sometimes I'll whistle to myself. There you go. You've got it finished.
It's done. And then you put it in.
Temper it, and the sword will be done. The rest is just speaking.
Right, you don't have to do anything, you just put it in. And then you dip it in the water. Alright. And then that'll come up. Okay, and then we got a near perfect sword. We got a 3 quality sword that's a gold sword. So there's bronze, silver, and gold. And that's tier 1, 2, and 3. There's a 4th tier that you can get when you upgrade your craftsmanship high enough. And that's the Martin tier. That's tier 4. So there's silver, there's bronze, silver, gold. We just got a gold. And then there's the Martin. So we just got a really good weapon here.
Right. Let's have a look. It's all that's if you work got that.
And again, you want to enjoy it.
Thanks.
And there's a ton of dialogue. And we're going to ask him where we can sleep.
Well,
And then you can sell him stuff.
you can buy,
And then you can buy materials from him.
What are you? You're pretty right.
And then he'll tell you to go down to Samine. And again, at either of these points, you're going to be at free roam. Okay. You can also learn some stuff about blacksmithing, and you can also do the tutorial a couple of times. I didn't quite do that, just so you know, because I didn't want to.
Do you want me just?
Yeah, we're trying to get a different quest here. This is a quest to go to Samine.
What was the bugger? There was answer. There's a good.
All right.
Go.
Lad.
All right, so we just got that. We'll end the dialogue. I don't think it's. Oh yeah, so you can't buy anything before like 9. So it's either 9 or 10. So I was wondering why it wasn't giving me the option to buy. There we go.
What do you have for sale?
So now we can do a massive upgrade if we want, which I would recommend. But we're going to sell this stuff. We're going to sell this sword, even though it's equipped, because we're going to use this other one.
I'd like to discuss the...
Sure.
Again, you want to give them a bit of a discount if you can.
I'm glad you found what you needed.
And then we're going to equip this better sword that we got. And we're going to put it into our other build also. Alright. And we'll go back to this. As you can see, half of our stolen icons are gone. Now I'm going to show you where we're going to wash ourselves first. There's a lot of things to do all over the place. I'm not going to give you all of them. You have to take some time and find them. But right here in the back of the blacksmith, this is your room. There's another chest that you can store your items in, as well as you have leather gloves here that give a perk to, they give a buff to your crafting, as well as there is a apron that gives a buff to your crafting, and then there is an armorer's kit. This is a free armorer's kit, and it will show up every once in a while, so just keep that in mind, because that really helps. Because again, most of our gear is broken, so now we have to get to the point that we are repairing our gear. We're going to use the gear now to repair, this thing that we just picked up to repair a little bit. We can't repair a lot because it takes a lot to repair all this stuff. But it helps. And then now that we're at this point, we've covered employment. Here, let's move away from him because he'll make too much noise. We covered 2 points of employment. We've covered everything in the basics of the game. At this point, you should be able to go and spend, 5 to 10 to 15 to 20 hours just running around doing stuff, just to get to this point. But we kind of speed ran it, so you knew where everything was. I'll try to get some timestamps in this soon, but I really wanted to take a quick moment and say thank you for watching this, because this is just a tutorial. I'm going to give you some bonus content now, just so you have an idea of how to also play dice a little bit better. And let me see, I might show you some pickpocketing real fast, and then we'll just call it a night. So we'll end with the dice.
Would you like to play dice?
What game would you like to?
Okay, we're going to play without a badge, and we're going to bet 10 because we don't have a lot of money.
Let's play.
And I'm going to give you the basics of the dice game.
But you can't beat me.
Alright, so this game took me a long time to figure out. But the basis of the game is you get scores for 5s and 1s. And then also 3s, 4s, 5s, and 6 of a kind. If you use all of the dice, you get a roll again. And then also if you get a straight, that's 5 in a row, you can also score that way. There's specific dice you can get throughout the world that are better, and then there's probability on all of them. These are the normal dice, so they do not do anything crazy. I'm going to show you. You have to go around, and it took me a long time to figure this out, but this one right here, that's 1. We're going to hit E.
What happened?
We're going to hold it back, so that's 100, and then this is a 5, so we're going to also take that, and then we're going to hit score and continue, and we're going to move those two to the side, and then we're going to roll again, and then we're going to take these two, and then we are going to pass because our probability of rolling a 1 or a 5 are pretty low. And then she over there, she has special dice. So she's got 1. She's got another 1.
Hopefully I'll do it again.
And it's the first 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, depending on which one you're using. But she's using special dice. I don't think she'll go again.
But you could throw better.
And then this one we have 3 3s, so that'll give us 300. And then we have this one, and then that's 400, and then we'll just move it aside. There used to be a buff that the die that's brown that she has right now. Oh man, she got them all. The dice that was brown always rolled a 3, and they took it away. So she's going to roll again. Actually, she's going to do it again. And also the computer cheats, but we're also cheating too, because we know the probabilities.
Good day.
She's just going for the win, man.
It looks like you don't even want to play.
Wow.
Last time I was watching,
I didn't even get a shot. Okay, so I'm glad I get to show you the dice game when she just totally smokes us. But yeah, this is how you play the game. So we got 5 5. She's probably gonna win this, so we're just gonna pass, and then we'll lose 10.
I've truly seen everything.
She's almost there. But yeah, the dice game's really fun. I like to play it a lot, and I recommend it to you also. And she won. Okay, so we lost 10, but the dice game increases your agility, just so you know. Alright, so now I'm going to show you one more spot. I'm going to switch my gear to something a little bit less noisy. But if you go over here, and I was pointing this out to another guy earlier today that I was watching. But if you go to the back, I'm going to show you this place. You go to the back of this spot, Where is it? And you're here in Takeoff. You go to the back of this building right here. And you go up this ladder. And again, this is the back of the courtyard. And this is the ladder right here. And then you start stinking. This is the guardhouse. And you can steal all sorts of cool stuff from here. So I just wanted to point that out to you, because there's guards all over here. But you can steal all sorts of fun stuff and good stuff in here. And increase your stealth while you're here. And like this. You have a couple of lockpicks on us now. And then, because this place is so close to the blacksmith, there's crafting material in here. So I definitely recommend it to you if you're coming in here to start stealing in this area. But at the same time, you want to make sure you don't oversteal in the area, because you will get caught eventually. And they will get very upset. These are very hard ones over here. Are very hard to steal from. And then there's this guy right here. I'm going to show you how to do a rob. And it's much easier when they're sleeping, just so you know. But you hold down the E button in this, and then it's going to pull up a mini game, and the mini game is going to be like a rotary phone, and you go around and then you select what you want, and then you have to go back out through the top. So I'm going to show you real quick, because it's the easiest way to increase your pickpocketing is by doing this. Is finding sleeping people and doing it that way. So we're going to hold it down, and then it's going to start adding up time. And this is the time that we're allowed to be in their pockets before they notice us. So I just increased it super high, and then it's going to pop up because this is the first time that we've ever done this. So then I'm going to hit exit, and now we are in their pockets. There's a little icon in here that says that we don't know what it is. And then we're going to exit their pocket. And we just took the keys, and now we can get in these without waking him up. But we're going to get back in his pocket again. And I'm going to show you, because we could be in his pocket for a long time. And we're not very good at it yet, so it's harder. But we just increased thievery to 8. So I really recommend doing that in this area. And then you can also steal stuff from there. So, and now it says I'm a criminal, and he'll take everything from us. But that was the run. I wanted to thank you for joining me on the tutorial, the live walkthrough on how to play the game on hardcore. If you have any questions on this, or if you're more interested in this kind of content, I actually do a lot more low-key hangout kind of thing, but I just wanted to give you a tutorial on the hardcore run-through, because it's kind of a miss. A lot of people have been talking to me about it and saying that they would just kind of would need a little bit of a walkthrough on what to do in the first couple of hours. As you can tell, I've spent about an hour and 40 minutes to 3 hours and 40 minutes to show you the tips and tricks in the area, let alone like getting to the areas that you need to get to, as well as getting transportation, places of employment, how to make money. So this is a good starting block for you. And as you can tell, we barely slept. We're on a hardcore run, so it's kind of easier. I've showed you how to navigate, how to do everything like that. This is Vibing with Victor. I really want to invite you to follow my channel and also subscribe. And I'll be doing a live stream tomorrow I think about 10, I'll be doing the live stream, and I'm going to be doing hour number 83 or something like that on my hardcore run. But I really appreciated working with you today.